was doing not bad, didn't care about you. I was high as fuck, wasn't looking for love or anything new. It ain't funny, little devil in disguise, think you got me, yeah. You're so naughty, I feel something leaping into my body. Cause you shut me in the heart, can't get over it, over it. In the other part, I'm recovering. And I love what you done, you made me fall too fast. Wait. Look what you done, I'm going mad. You shut my heart, the only is dead. I need your love so bad. Now I'm lying in bed, stupid thoughts in my head got me thinking of you. If you let me know lies, slowly losing my mind. Are you feeling this too? Don't be sorry, you're my angel in disguise. Yeah, you got me, yeah. Let's be naughty, wanna put my body next to your body. Cause you shoot me in the heart, can't get over it, over it. In the other part, I'm recovering, recovering. Look what you done, you made me fall too fast. Wait. Look what you done, I'm going mad. You shut my heart, the only is dead. I need your love so bad.
Always in tandem, though you're handling bars is all I imagine, and falling from you is just magic. Is it too much to ask to make us authentic? Before you go, you have to know that we were only after all, so you could tell your friends when you see them at the weekend. I can pretend we wouldn't speak then. It's morning over me, a good evening for you, cause I'm heaving for you. It's morning over me, a good evening, cause I'm heaving. It's morning over me, a good evening for you, cause I'm heaving for you. It's morning over me, a good evening, cause I'm heaving. Opening scars to know that we have them. Well, how many times I told you I have them. Still falling from you was just magic, I loved it, yeah. And a phone call from you would be goddamn fantastic. Before you go, you have to know that we were only after all, so you could tell your friends when you see them at the weekend. I can pretend that we wouldn't speak then. It's morning over me, a good evening for you, cause I'm heaving for you. It's morning over me, a good evening, cause I'm heaving. It's morning over me, a good evening for you, cause I'm heaving for you. It's morning over me, a good evening, cause I'm heaving. I can pretend
Welcome back to IEM Summer Closed Qualifiers. We're into our second best of three of the day. If you're just joining us, you missed out on G2, just stopping the comeback of the Mouse Sports side, and they make their way into the upper bracket qualification match. For these two teams, they're not in the upper bracket anymore. They were upset in their respective matches yesterday, and now they fight for their lives. I'm talking about FaZe and FURIA. What a surprising result I would have seen for those two teams. I would have thought they would have met in their respective match in the upper bracket. I think a lot of people would have looked at those series and thought, hey, those two teams would have been pinned to win them. FaZe probably one of my tournament favorites, I want to say, in terms of the close qualifier. So it's a bit of a shock to see them at this level here, Dwayne.
I think for both teams, they were obviously upsetted, right, for them to be down in this position, but one more so than the other. I think between OG and FaZe, they gave them a decent run for their money, but we saw FURIA losing to Movistar Riders and getting 16-6 twice on both maps. And you look at that and you think, what has happened there? I mean, FURIA ranked 6th in the world, and this international tier 2 squad have been able to get a couple of best of 3 victories and trounce FURIA. That was entirely unexpected.
Yeah, and you look at this, and as a result, you think to yourself that if we see anything of like what we saw from yesterday's matches here in today's matches, then you could be seeing either of these two teams going out at this stage. FaZe had a big mare, obviously, against the OG side. We were casting that game here on the mainstream, so we got to see firsthand exactly where that whole thing let up. And considering they were absent for about 6 weeks or so, it was a very lackluster performance. And you mentioned, obviously, there was match sharpness issues, I think, for that team. I believe you mentioned that they just didn't feel like they were ready to play in server yesterday, and maybe that could be the case in today's matches. I'm hoping that they have geared themselves ready to go into this best of 3, because you would expect that FaZe again should make at least a decent run at it.
And for FURIA, like, their results recently have actually been really good. Like, you got, a top 4 position down in the semifinals in Pro League and the playoffs. They finished 2nd in their group. And then you have a look at what happened in the Blast Showdown. Yeah, they went out in the quarterfinals, but they played Gambit. So when you kind of look at the positions they've been in, they've actually had some really decent results as of late. Whereas for FaZe, we don't really kind of know where they sit. They hadn't played an official in like 5 or 6 weeks. They finally played their game yesterday. Neither team in this matchup were able to win a map in their series. So you look at this and think, well, there's a bit of a rematch underway, because for FaZe, they got eliminated by FURIA in IEM Katowice and got knocked out of the tournament. So for them to be able to knock FURIA out this time around, there could be a lot of rivalry between the two.
Yeah, that one best of 3 series did go a 2-1 win for the FURIA side, so by all accounts you expect this to be a third map, but obviously there's been some roster changes, there's been some new additions, especially in the FaZe cam, where the most obvious one seems to come up to effect. We talk about obviously Karrigan and how his addition to this roster can affect things. You see what FaZe could do yesterday, and you wonder if that was still a positive move, whether or not there's still some question marks surrounding the level of faith that the players have in Karrigan, in Karrigan's calling, whether some of that lack of faith is still left over from the old team with Nico. So for Karrigan, it's been a very weird spot as a result of it, because usually he comes into a team and they do well right off the bat. They don't get the first tournament victory, but the second or the third one comes in, and they've had 2 tournaments so far. It's not worked out. IEM Summer would be the third one where they would where they could work it out, but they might not even get to the main event. They could be out on the qualifier.
That's not what you want to be if you're FaZe. Like, they've obviously put a lot into this lineup. They've got some really big stars, but it just feels like that maybe the game yesterday was a bit of a one-off, and this is going to be the real test now in the lower bracket, because both of these teams are fighting for everything, and to think that, FURIA or FaZe are going to be one of the teams eliminated out of the closed qualifier, like not even the main event, and one of these two teams are going to be going down. Both of these teams are ranked like top 15 in the world.
Yeah, and you mentioned obviously FURIA with their campaign in the European scene, with their Brazilian heritage, being the best team in Brazil right now. It would be such a shock for them to lose out in the qualifier. So for both teams, this matchup is going to be a big disappointment for whoever loses it. The question is, who is it going to be? Map vetoes are as follows. FaZe picked into Nuke, FURIA picked into Inferno, and Mirage will be the third map if we have to get there. So very similar to how things actually went down on that last one, except for the first 2 maps. Nuke and Inferno, how do you feel about those map picks?
I get a little bit weird, or a little bit, anxious when I see Nuke coming through, because we saw Nuke being played against OG yesterday for FaZe, and while their City side looked pretty rock solid, they had a 10-5 half. Look what happened on T side. They really struggled to get those rifle rounds going their way. They only picked up 3 T rounds, and I look back in the series and think, okay, yeah, maybe Nuke is a decent map for FaZe, and they've played FURIA in it in the past. I don't know whether they can turn it around on T side, so straight away from the veto, I'm already quite anxious with the map pick coming in from FaZe.
Well, it is a departure from their previous matchup when they played in the IEM Katowice event. It was Trade Overpass and Mirage, which were the maps that were picked into. So, you know, two very different ones. Mirage obviously being the decider, and that one was the one that went the way of the FURIA side. So they've already got themselves a bit of an advantage in that respect, knowing that they haven't got the same maps that FaZe lost to. So for them, there is going to be a slight hindrance here and there, I think. But for FaZe, it's a very important series today. Quick predictions before we go into this one, Dwight.
I'm going to go 2-1 up for FURIA.
Fair enough. Very, very quick and concise on that prediction.
That's it, mate.
I can see this going to FURIA as well. I don't have a lot of faith in FaZe compared to yesterday's performance, so they've got to buck it up, and I'm hoping that they're taking the moments to improve upon their line. We start off on Nuke, as you mentioned, the map that FaZe got battered on by OG's part. Seeing whether they can do the exact same thing right here. Pistol round going live with Cold and Carrigan with the utility bases. They set themselves up at the defaults. ArtCZ is the only upgrade that FURIA take in this one. It's just that one pistol, no Kevlar on him.
It seems to be an upper fake towards a ramp control play coming out for the T side, and Twist actually diving down in towards events. Art's being forced off angle, does get the tap into Carrigan to find that first pick, but now FaZe can start to overwhelm and take the lower bomb side.
A first blood drawn by FURIA. Cold Zero expecting backstabs though, and he's read it so well. Junior jumping around the corner. Brokey actually comes in to bail Cold out. So 4v2 situation as Twist is on the bomb site in case Serato. I believe he's very aware of that. Being very careful about where he takes FaZe from this. The T-side players moving up and into the bomb plant position. Is going to go down with double doors, I believe. It's going to be the right call given the fact that Serato is here at decon. Or backside, chance to swing and deny it. No, they do open for double doors. So 3v2 retake, FURIA. Tagged up on Art's part. Vinny now dead to rights to Rain. And it should be locked out of the round here, especially with Art going down.
That was a very interesting approach to how they wanted to take the ramp control. So it looked like once they were able to open up ramp and Art was forced further back from hell, that you could just dive that bomb into the lower bomb side knowing that you had the vent dive from Twist. But instead, they kind of like stayed around and waited for the move to come to them. They held back out towards the ramp position. They waited for FURIA to get in towards Trophy. Brokey was able to find a couple of kills in the round, ended up with a 4K. FURIA are going to be forced by and going into the second round. Deagle's up for everybody, and a glass cannon scout coming through from Junior.
Seeing what you can do with the sniper, one of the many force port weapons that FURIA have. Can't expect them to get the round itself, but obviously focusing, getting towards the outside control for FaZe to evade most of FURIA's potential. I've got players indoors and at the hell position in particular. No one's at the B side though.
They're very passive to come through from the T side once again. They've been able to at least slow walk their way towards this outside play in from Secret. I haven't quite committed with that bomb as of yet. Still making a bit of a play out towards this ramp position. And for the meanwhile, ramp actually looks relatively open. Junior's really the only close defender, and even for him, he's not directly looking into ramp. Finally, Vinny's going to be that guy on rotation and hasn't been opened up as of yet.
Eagle watching for Vinny's part. Expecting there to be some sort of ramp control. Those flashbangs will indicate that FaZe are indeed on their way in here. Junior. Scout, what's the point if they're trying to make their way out to hell, but Molotovs into that back position ensure that they're going to be going out towards the ramp position. Rain in from window, takes Vinny. Easy frag to start off this round, and probably an easy round here for FaZe.
Yeah, smokes down towards double doors and single, and for FURIA, just an instant save call. They lose that lower bomb site. One thing that FaZe were very successful with on T-side against OG was those lower takes, even in the very few rounds that they were able to achieve in that second half of the series, or of the map of Nuke in particular. So knowing that Nuke was being picked in by the FaZe side, FURIA had the option of being able to pick the side. They went for CT. Be able to take the next round almost as like a bit of a half buy, really. And keep 4 players alive, bring that weaponry in towards a third. And for FaZe, they'll be quite happy about that. 1 kill in from Rain with the AK. Other than that, pretty easy round.
And 2-0 to the start. FURIA with that force buy. Again, should just hold those main weapons into the next round. Have a little bit extra firepower with no real investment. Should be a simple enough affair to start things off for FaZe, getting that 3-0, exactly where they want to start things off. You mentioned how that T side was a mare against OG, so don't want to let history repeat itself in that respect. Out to the outside smokes very early on for the FaZe side. Exact same setup on the default. Yuri. Hoping they're going to go to Squeaky this time, but that's not going to be the case. Instead, it's mostly ramp here from Karrigan.
FaZe were a lot more aggressive too in their game against OG on T side. This has been a lot more slow and a lot more passive in their default so far. A lot of damage being taken out towards a ramp position, but they do find those entries in with Karrigan and Twist around that half HP marker. And play towards the outside position. Yuri going slightly aggressive in from Deacon. Does at least find that first pit from Squeaky. How much more damage can they find in the round though?
Art's going to hunt for his opportunity here in the observation window. Expecting the BT side presence back here. Yuri also repositioning. Ready for rain. Not quite the 2k. Heavy damage sustained though. He gets back out of dodge and looks into the secret position. Art's just going to wrap back around. Going to have to concede this bomb plant. Trying to hunt down the low HP player of the T side line, but Ranger's going to escape and draw their attention away from the actual site itself. So if there was a retake on the table, then it's definitely taken away at this stage. Too much time wasted. Player still not being seen. Art struggling to get this guy. He's made his way so far away now, and now he's got to focus on Brokey instead, and Brokey just gets that kill. Art literally walked all the way through the corridors, and he's going to be mad that he didn't find that guy.
Junior just trying to see if he can do anything with the scout. Nice tap comes through from Rain, so he can at least upgrade that to a slightly better weapon. I hope that he doesn't get hunted by anyone else. Doesn't actually want the Galil, so we'll leave it for a little bit longer. Third on the board for the FaZe side, and he goes for the Galil, and then goes down to the bomb radius.
Just grab the got out to spawn. Either way, it's FURIA. Not too fast. It's forced by Eco. 3-0 start for FaZe, and again, the rifles will come in for round 4. This is where they have to be fussed. Up in for Junior immediately, and obviously, we talk about him as the, not the newest addition, technically. There's actually been a player that's promoted from the FURIA Academy side as their 6th man, but when he came into the roster, they had to change up their entire communications method, if I remember correctly, because he doesn't speak Portuguese, and they've all had to transition into English. And so far for FURIA, it hasn't been too much of a hindrance, I don't think. It seems like they're well enough coordinated, but Art peeking in the early part of this round, not coordinated at all. First frag found against his name.
It's probably been a very difficult transition, but it seems to have been working out decently for them. Not easy, completely changing language, but for FURIA so far up on the city side, haven't been able to get off to the best of starts on the rifle round. Art being picked off out from the T side, aggression starting to slow walk in towards that hut face. Even for Junior with the AWP, hasn't really been able to spot anything. Vinny now starting to make a little bit more of an aggressive play towards this outside position. And for FaZe, just running out these defaults, just being able to find the opening pick, slow it down, bait out more util from the city side. FURIA are bound to make a mistake in terms of aggressing again.
And FaZe going to have to force a bit further forward. And this time I run low though, start to gain ramp control and access. Junior with his AWP. Semi-passive angle, Molotov will try for support. That flashbang will make sure he falls back instead. Meanwhile, Karrigan acts to the A side. Gets Yuri, not ready for K-Serato on the hut control. Drops back in against Twist, but that leads to his death. A bit too overly aggressive for him. And Vinny, now with the M4, knowing that that door is closed, that they have got easy access to the B side. There's not much that FURIA can do to try and deny this position. Junior was looking on the heaven position, and Cold Zero and backstabbing against him as Vinny makes his way downstairs. Junior actually gets the shot on Cold. Can Vinny now die in a bomb plant? 10 seconds, actually, this is still possible. Rain's going to plant right in front of Deacon. Chance available, round's been won. All Junior has to do is stay alive. And Vinny with the slowest alert play is cool as a cucumber. Silent as a snake. First to the board of FURIA.
Just too slow there, unfortunately, for FaZe. They can't really gather enough information. You've got that lurk up towards heaven to try and fake a bit of a wrap towards the A site. No scope comes in from Junior, and then the bomb just gets planted open for decontamination, and all Vinny has got to do, open that bomb, get that 1-for-1, and as soon as that bomb gets dropped, that round is done. Junior's got to stay alive, and FURIA just convert their first round on CT. Karrigan would be frustrated, knowing that they pretty much had full site control towards that lower portion, but just didn't have the time on their side.
FaZe still having a 2 weapons saved, and that one means the MP5's got to stay in. One more for Art as well here for the FURIA side, so SMG still in the buyback for the CT cap. Passive positions held by FaZe towards the outside control. Is sat back hoping for a mistake from FURIA, but they're not going to force forward this time. They're not going to give up that opening kill, so FaZe are going to be forced to work for it.
No, they should know that Art was playing out towards the secret position only because he took some damage up towards that molly. They won't know about the second player, though, for Vinny. And Crossmoke's going up, Ranger's getting blinded, and Art wants to try to grass.
Risky if he does. He's tagged to 63, and Vinny instead takes the onus of the aggression, gets dealt with for it. Junior with York pick back on 1. Blind firing, having to catch Twist or players behind him. In the end, he's 2 HP, so Yuri can get that frag at point blank, drop that bomb. Carrigan responds to Serato out of the hut control. 3 on 2. Orpa crossing, Orpa battle goes the way of Junior. He lands his secondary frag, and that bomb's still under contention. Yuri and a cut off Carrigan at 8 points of health. He's an easy pickings target, and it's all left to Cold Zero. Time running short on him, seeing Yuri getting the headshot back, and smoke down to suppress on Junior's part of things, or just swing back, grab that bomb, look to get it planted here on the A sites, or the B site actually.
Drop it quickly in towards events, put that molly out towards secret, and just try and beat the rotation. Time is low, but he's going to be able to plant, save, and get into a very decent position. Junior coming back down in towards events. Does he go out towards single or double door? Cold Zero's looking to reposition out towards dark.
Slow facing, AK. Backing up to ramp as Junior opens the door. Now Cold Zero is known. Smoke on the bomb directly, not to the cross position. Got to look for the AK, he hasn't seen him. Gun barrel spotted, spray comes through. Cold Zero wins his second and wins the round on the clutch for FaZe Clan.
Big clutch up for FaZe, and that just, it brings more momentum. It shuts the economy right back to almost nothing, so they're going to have to echo, and he obviously doesn't know the information that we do, but Cold Zero plants safe and then ends up going very far away from that bomb, out towards a ramp entrance. Smoke goes down onto the bomb, and Junior's just trying to see if he can pick him up, look up towards the railings, but just can't quite see anything. 4-1 up for FaZe on D side. Things are looking so much more better for them. How much more can they follow up, though? FURIA, been a couple of close rounds from them, but they've only converted 1 so far in this first half.
Yeah, FURIA really struggling in this one. FaZe definitely looking much better than yesterday, at least for the first 5 rounds. Number 6 should also go their way. Aren't ready with the Deagle against Carrigan and Rain. First head, easily found. Easy kill for him. Tight angle held though, so it definitely looks impressive. Twists. That was actually full victim to Yuri at point blank positions. AK picked up against the AWP. Brokey can get back out of dodge knowing that he is in danger. Tag to 30 and a 4-on-3, and backup is arriving to support.
Swing coming out, looking to see if they can get that 1-for-1 trade, and Brokey's just got so much info. Yuri's been spotted out for credit card, does get the tap onto Cold Zero, and now FaZe look like they just want to try and commit towards this lower bomb site. They're down by 1, and FURIA have done a very good job of committing to this damage, but how can they get here in time towards a lower bomb site? They've got to start the rotates now out from ramp.
Well, they can't deny the bomb plan. What they will do is go for the retake. Serato, fast man forcing forward the CZ, close Carrigan. Back being turned away, looking into observation window. Brokey, Deagle down by Art. Good shot, good kill. Carrigan now left alone to clutch it. Sees that first, but taps missing out. Yuri, an easy swing for FURIA. Will find themselves a decent eco round. Actually, a pretty decent return round as a FaZe Clan as well. The money is not quite there for the T side. The bomb plant bonus will get them higher, but should this be a forced investment from the T side?
Nah, they can't really buy here. Ooh, they are actually going for it. With 1900 lost bonus, they would have been able to get the buy straight away back into round 8. But I guess they want to reset one another. Like, we obviously could see the money line here from FURIA isn't really looking that great. You've got Vinny down at 0, Art down at 1100, and with 1900 lost bonus, you've got 2 players on double eco. FaZe realize if they win round 7, they get back in the lead, and they reset the economy straight away.
Smokes mollies in the T side, suppressed by FURIA very early on into this round. Further smokes down to ensure that no one can make their way out of squeak door. And No vent dive was made there by FaZe. Carrigan's still going to walk out here, dry facing. The CTs have put so much stock into this Squeaky control. They've completely left Hut open. Now Rain a kill. Art with the response doubling up against Rain. Takes a lot of damage. 2 for 1s. And CT's on rotation. Backup has arrived, but Brokey lands Deagles for days. 2v2 up against Vinny next. And Junior playing so close to US peeking at a frag. The Galil lines up 2 for Twists though. And maintains the round for FaZe Clan. Another just walkout round. What were FURIA doing on the A site?
Well, they had a boost up from the vent. I think that they didn't expect for that play to come out as quickly as they did. And when you've got 2 players on floor together in a boost spot, it means that in terms of the entrance out from Hut, there's no one there to defend. No one playing Mustang, no one top Hut, no one default, and nothing up towards Heaven. It came down to the rotates, but it was already too slow. Forcepy's got to come back in from FURIA, but even that looks really damaged.
Flashbangs in, they're going to go for the fast hit. Carrigan, Mac 10 leads the charge, and there is a player up in the rafters this time. He gets overwhelmed. Yuri with 1 frag just past the smoke on Rain, and he's tagged up, as is Junior, and Vinny now taking some Molotov damage of his own in Heaven. Sprays through, Yuri forced off, Twists will return to 17 HP, passing that AK back to Brokey. Again, the AWP for his own right, and Brokey deals with Vinny at last. 2 standing for the CT side, bomb's gone down.
There was moments that he was having a pretty rough game against OG, going very, very quiet at times. Pretty much more, I think, on Mirage than Nuke in total, but he stepped up on this T side, and he's been the impact man. Another quick hit to come through from FaZe Clan, and it's so difficult to read for them on their T side because the change of pace is happening so regularly. We see those slow defaults where they really run down the clock, they've got the outside smokes, and then all of a sudden they just like hit the upper bomb site so quickly, 2 rounds in a row.
FaZe re-establishing their momentum off of FURIA's good turnaround of the eco, getting their own force buy-in, and the follow-up rifles now down to FURIA to save the weapons and save the economy state. That Orpa Junior might be the only weapon they have to work with here, and FaZe looking so much better today. 4 rounds of difference. Upgrade pistols brought in for FURIA. This is, for all intents and purposes, an eco round. And FaZe should be able to run straight through it.
It could be another quicker play to come out from FaZe, looking to try and see if they can turn away from the flashes, wait for aggression to come out from ramp, and it seems like Junior's wanting to really give the fight. Orville, Jewel, oh, Brokey does turn away. Who's going to peek into this first, though?
Junior wants to peek back out of it. Passive angle, footsteps being heard on the roofs. Rain trying to set up the Molotovs. Oh, no! Brokey looks away! And now Junior and Vinny can take back control of the ramp position.
Those footsteps would heard though, so they know the CTs are pressed up aggressively. They've got to act now towards the front side. Art now starting to get in behind them. Does anyone read that the play's coming in from behind? The CZ finds the first, tries to come out, doesn't quite happen. And now the T side start the entry out, but they've got to clear the default position. 2 players here from the CT side. They don't know about Quesarato, who finds one with the P250 and looking to try and tag up. Junior now getting involved for the last player out for the Heaven position. Is being spammed through and on for the clutch at this point, but falling away and looking to reposition.
And bomb planted here for Twist, or at least it will come down in the moment. He's thinking about the main or the Heaven plant. Goes for the Heaven plant in the end. Knowing that Junior can't peek through that Molotov, the AWP is going to try his hand at this retake, though. Who does he find first? He's got 1 player he can wallbang in the back of the site. The knife out instead, actually goes back for the save call instead. Smart idea. It does mean 7 up for FaZe Clan, though.
Yeah, it doesn't have a kit, and it's not one of those rounds that is so vital that you have to win it, that it changes the game. Instead, you just think, okay, we're going for the safer approach. I'll just save in the 1v2. FaZe Clan, though, another round on T side, and it gets to a point where this lead's going to start getting out of control if the CTs just keep saving. Yeah, you want to try and keep your economy strong, but at what point do you just say to yourself, we've got to go for it? Just at least try and crack it in. Bike can come back around the AWP. And for FURIA, they did a lot right in that round. They got aggressive out towards ramp. Art was able to get in behind them out from Squeaky, pushing through from Hard. But for FaZe, the trades were just there.
First tactical called in by FURIA here. Appropriate timing to do so. They've got a true buy back in to this next round. The Orpa Junior definitely aiding in that respect. Can drop weapons. Yuri, I think, should be good enough to buy him for his own right. Lack ahead Kevlar, that's fine. There's no bonus weapons for FaZe. There's no SMGs or Galils or anything else. There should be a pretty decent basis for FURIA to work off of. Okay, Serato actually sacrificing the HE for the second head Kevlar, so it might be a bit of a misbuy on his part, but nothing too major. FaZe up by 5 rounds. FURIA need to try change that soon. Their CT side is slipping from their grasp.
They've got to find a way back, and you've got to wonder what the approach is. Is it a little bit more of an aggressive lurk outside? Is it maybe trying to see if they can pinch a Junior to be a little bit more aggressive with the AWP too? Because for him, he's been playing really passive angles, whether it's been deep out from ramp or out towards the Heaven or Locker's position. Hasn't ever really tried to press far forward out towards ramp or going for a squeaky pick, at least when it comes to the rifle rounds. FaZe, I feel like they are completely in control. Individually, they're looking very sharp, making the right mid-round calls too from Carrigan. And probably one of the slower rounds we've seen yet from FaZe. Outside smoke starting to come through now.
The best part about it is that all this is coming in on T side. FaZe spotting out the AWP first and foremost to Junior, forcing him back out of the garage control. Rain up to that position as the AWP Brokey starts firing, but still doesn't catch any presence, still doesn't catch any kills. Turns back into the B control. They've got 3 players down here. They think it's going to be a B commitment with 35 seconds left. FaZe have to go through ramp if they want to try and make it happen, or try and force the issue back at the vent control. Molotovs and nades. Damage done. Art's going to be forced out of position, burning to 56 points of HP, and now FaZe got to go for the ramp play. They've got to go for this. Rain finds Junior, opens up the outside position, but rotations inbound towards the B-side. Twist walk past one CT, gets the kill on Vinny instead. Yuri ready for the swing back. Twist sees him and does pay for it with his life. The bomb can go down to the interim. Carrigan ready to cover off one player, but he falls back actually. Yuri's doing a pretty decent job here. 6 seconds. He can't deny the bomb plant though.
3v3, decent post-plant position to come through from FaZe. They get back out from double doors. A lot of info would have been picked up here for the CT side, and they're trying to see if they can fake around the corner. Cold 05 the first, not quite lining up the second. The AWP falls, and now it's all down to the Norwegian. Rain in the 1 versus 2, looking to try and defend out from ramp. There is a low HP player out for Dinkon trying to tap up, but it doesn't come through. FaZe really running down that clock in towards the lower site take. And the kills in terms of the entries were everything. Rain was able to catch off Junior up in that Heaven position. Twist was able to find a really important kill, dropping down into the vents, but they weren't able to follow up, unfortunately.
A very last second, very scrambled there from the FaZe side. FURIA have punished them for that, taken a lot of damage of their own right, so the second tactical pause will be called in by these guys. FaZe have held their owners, they've held themselves at least confidence, and the lead still sits to them on T side line. FURIA got to work a lot more harder and a lot more confidently if they want to try and change that.
For both of these teams, I think the CT basis is everything on Nuke, more so for FaZe. You have a look at their results recently, and in terms of their T-side win percentage, it's under 45%. And we certainly saw pretty much exactly that when it came to that OG matchup yesterday of only 3 rounds on T-side, even with a 10-5 lead up. So to see them already putting up 7, even 7 I think they would be happy with, but they could probably push that even further, get up to about 9 or 10, and if so, you'd be, you know, absolutely clapping your hands together with confidence at that point.
FaZe back up on the buy, knowing that they can easily maintain control of their situation here. Right now, the focus is just trying to get these AKs into effect. They have got 1 player outside in Art. He is in secret, looking for his way in. He's been smoked to hell, though. I think there was 3 smokes put up in that position. Trying to try to press forward ahead of one of them, and Twist easily finds that player. Had his crosshair trained on it and kickstarts the round.
A beautiful lurk towards that outside position. Then that's going to start scrambling the positions of where the CT start holding from. Yuri actually does get flashed towards that outside position, turn it back to a 4v4, and now the commitment out towards ramps coming into the T's.
Smoke back ready. Junior with the AWP's going to burn out of position. Rain with the spray. Junior on 34 points of HP. Forced off position for the moment. FaZe are being very careful how they take this. 50 seconds. Wrapping back into lobby control. One CT is close at the squeaky door. Serato up in rafters. Keep his eyes down low. Expect there to be more players. And then be someone popping out of the hot position. You're right to assume that. Rain's opened the door though. Carrigan seen and sprayed. Kill goes the way of the CT side, but Rain with a response. Serato smoke back here, going to suppress them, but the wraparound's coming in towards the ramp control. AUG could line up 2 frags, and Vinny gets them both. That's round done. Rain can fight all he wants, but it's 4th for FURIA instead.
These last couple of rounds from FaZe have been very fakey in the sense that they're running the clock down low. They're trying to see if they can pull mistakes and rotations. And in that round from FaZe, I think just trying to commit towards that upper site probably was the right call. We saw how much damage Carrigan was able to do to the top Mustang player. Rain was able to find the trade onto Serato. We even... in that, like, 4v4, there was a lot of, like, no utility up for the T side, so they ended up trying to just fake out the upper take and bring that bomb out towards ramp. And Vinny, you couldn't have asked for a better position from him.
And that round is something put behind it here for FaZe. They've got pistols out. Yes, they are deagles on most players. Glocks in for Carrigan as well, but it's an eco with no Kevlar, no utility, and the rifles happy to play themselves outside. Junior has seen one player crossing towards Secret. That's Yuri, and gets the frag on Carrigan. FaZe. I press twists up here. The orb seen, tagged up, but still gets the frag together. So nothing special coming in from FaZe here for round 12.
Yeah, dealing with this eco accordingly. Vinny starting to find a little bit more form out towards a ramp position. Nice couple of kills once again, so he gets up to 6. FURIA up to 5. And you've got to think now for the Brazilians, it really does feel like they're finding some form now, and they're actually finding some consistency. And before we really saw this like streak coming together, it had been very much individual rounds. It's now been 3 in a row. How much further can they bring it? A lot of AUGs coming out across the board for the last couple of rifle rounds from FURIA. Again, into round 13. And for FaZe, just looking to try and see if they can continue to just apply a little bit more pressure on this D side.
AUG seen one player outside of Art looking up top. The silo position as Carrigan's holding FaZe. He's looking for that gap in the smoke. He might have given up information to the T side line. Rain creeps closer. They heard the tag. They should be able to deal with him. He actually gets one frag for his way out, actually. That's pretty decent considering how much pressure and how many players he had surrounding him. FaZe. Now look downstairs, but they've got Serato as the next contender.
That was a great play from Art to at least find a one-on-one. He was spotted out for the silo player, even spammed up to see him get a kill. It brings something back. Junior, I think he's been seen by the jiggle piece of Carrigan, and yet swing comes out, easy kill for the T side, and now they've got the opportunity of bringing that bomb back towards upper and start playing the mind games. 2 CTs have rotated to lower now from FURIA.
Spreading out the FURIA side, 2 players are grouped up here, but even Serato is going to make his way away from Yuri. AK twists, almost gets the frag on Vinny, but the AUG again wins another good kill. Serato flashing his way out of the vents entrance, firing back on the T-side members, but we're going to have to concede this bomb plant here as the rotations start coming in for FURIA, setting up the retake. Serato actually denies one individual, swings around against Cold Zero, gets that double up as well. Carrigan, last man standing, and Serato makes it a triple. What a hold from him. That's a big, big 6 for FURIA to take.
That's a lot of confidence out for Serato. A lot of teams and a lot of individuals in that situation are just going to play the retake in 3v3, but instead, as soon as he hears that bomb going down, he wants to take the fight. Opens up Decon, takes the fight up towards the right side entrance of ramp, deals with the player on the side that's just planted the bomb, and then flip back up towards that left-hand side. A great triple to come out. And FURIA are really starting to turn up the heat now. They are bringing back the scoreline deficit. 1 for the lead for FaZe.
After such a good confident start on T-side, FURIA finding their way back into this. The nade damage does so much HP working away from the FaZe side. Vinny with 2 picks. Orp Junior doesn't land his flick to the head. Rain. That one trade leaves it at 2 for 1. Carrigan finds a second trade on the A side. How has he been allowed to walk out here again? FURIA lacking in a key area of the map. And the A side's under their control. Basically go for the bomb plant here. That's not even bad for a half-by round.
Yeah, they over-rotated completely, and Carrigan just snuck his way out from Squeak Door. And into this 3v3, this is so winnable. Another resmoke down towards main. That's just going to buy the T's more time.
Junior with the incendiary on the site will try and drive one player away. Another one coming in from the other CT member up there. Flash is coming forward. Serato starts peeking, looks down, sees one, takes him out. Deagle back and twist, domes the likes of Yuri and Osman standing here for the T-side line. He can only go so far with the damage. The defuse stuck by Junior. Will find the 7th. FURIA will equalize against FaZe.
That was close, though. That was them really getting tested. Great utility, though, from FURIA. You see the way that they're able to get the molly out towards default, as well as from Hut. Double flashes to kind of peek with it. FaZe set themselves up for a lot of damage in that round. They got away with, what, a bomb plant and 3 kills. They'll be happy with that, but it also could have been a conversion. Tied up 7-7. 2 AKs being saved, too, from the FURIA side, making sure that they stay in play.
And FaZe quickly moving up into their positions as standard players on top of the mini position. Rain's thinking about jumping around the corner. He gets past them in the end and actually domes Junior. Perfect shots indeed. Yuri past the smoke finds 1 kill. Carrigan drops in against Art, now known. How's he going to outplay him? Art catches the angle, but Carrigan still turns 180 to get that pick in case Serato and Yuri. Last couple of players standing, they do find that bomb, but Cold Zero is so good with the trading and makes it a double for 8-7 at the turn of the half for the FaZe side. Looking good there on T, now need to look good on CT as we head to a break and see it after this.
Aiming high, name the clouds passing by, wishing we run away. All we need is our passports, baby. Leave the rest in our troubled minds. Let us go down and left her, baby. Trying to figure out what we're after. We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after. Book a plane, fly away. We will never be the same. And as long as you are mine, come on and run away. We wanna run away. We don't need any reasons, baby. Leave it all for the faded hearts. I don't mind if they call us crazy, 'cause they don't understand what we're after. We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after. We're no kids no more. I need to feel alive in this dreadful town. I'm running out of time, and as long as you're mine, I wanna run away. We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after.
Well, looking so promising for the FaZe side. They hold the lead off the back of their T side, and on FURIA, they've already managed to find themselves back within one of that lead. So it's a possibility that they can still pull off the map against this FaZe camp. Pistol round going live with the utility on Carrigan's part. Art and K Serato having a smoke and a Molotov each here. It's very, very carefully placed. They put a lot of utility down already. And they're going to go in for the A here. Cold Zero with his USP. Taps up that first. Look for Junior in case Serato as well, right behind that player position. Good shot from Art as well. Jumping in the air. Takes Rain down. Brokey can find the trade. Look back at Case Serato's angle. The bomb plant can be denied for a moment. The 3-on-2 situation. FURIA actually lose the man advantage.
HE coming down for the Heaven position and the smoke too from Carrigan. Actually looking to try and take the fight before the bomb can get planted again. And now Art's the last one left in the 1 versus 2. He's got to try and pick this bomb back up.
USP watching up from Heaven at the edge of the smoke. Carrigan will be the next player to face. Twist is right behind him. Turned away from it the wrong moment. Thought it was a flashbang coming in, but couldn't connect the headshot on the last man. And FaZe clutched the all-important pistol.
A fast run out to come through from FURIA towards that upper side, and in terms of the early entries, everything went out really right, but what really brought that round back was obviously Carrigan's play up towards the Heaven position, underhand throw with the HE down on towards the side, denying that bomb, and then just keep peeking with it, keep applying the pressure up towards the T side, and for FURIA, they just really aren't able to get comfortable and get that post plant in.
Yeah, hell of a start here for the FaZe side, knowing that they have the majority of the advantage. The momentum right now is in favor of FURIA as they try and just catapult themselves straight into the ramp control. Twist, however, there to take the trace back of Carrigan's par. The only player to fall. Twist makes it 3. As FURIA just fall apart with the force by. Desperate to get something out of there, but they just failed entirely.
The one time that they just rush in towards that ramp entrance is when there's 2 anchors playing there, and what a crossfire that is. So much damage coming together between the 2 for Masters and for FURIA on the force buy. What do you do now? Go for a hero AK investment over towards Art. Not really a massive amount of money for them to play with, so we will see Case Serato quite limited into that next round, but if they could do some damage and get a bomb plant, then it will be worth the investment.
Diga attempting his first shot on Brokey here. The scout on the outside control. Pass credit card. Yuri has seen what's going on, but can't quite seem to land that opening kill. And FaZe actually up to back up a bit more passive here. No more CT players are out here except for the likes of Brokey. Art gets that AK kill into the main position. Bearing down from Squeaky Door. Rain is the first player out.
Yeah, it's decent damage to start off from the AK, but they've got to be able to follow up. They've got to be able to find a way to continue to do damage, starting to retake this lobby control now. Do they just lean in for a bit of an upper side? If they can dive this bomb in towards a vents position, that could be a decent chance. Cold Zero holding out towards the floor. Another one-on-one trade.
Oh, getting the TK in, so Cold Zero not even credited with the frag. Twist makes his way up from the vents. He's credited with those 2. And Yuri, Digo in hand, grabbing the M4. Knows that there's a player on site. No info on Carrigan. Bomb being dropped as well, footsteps being made. Is he giving away information? Are the CTs hearing this? So they're just going to call it in. 40 seconds, and Yuri's got to work real hard to clutch this. He's got no Kevlar either, so the aim punch is going to hurt him big time. Brokey moving closer. Actually gets called off guard. That's a frag back. And Carrigan moving in from hut instead of Squeaky Door. Not going for the backstab, but still winning the fight and getting the round to FaZe.
Oh, that's a close one. That's a sweltering round for FaZe. They still convert it, but look at how much they lose. That's a hero AK investment up for the T side, and they lose 4 players in total. The only downside to that round from FURIA is that they didn't get that extra $800 in terms of the bomb plan. It looked like for a moment they could have dived that bomb in towards events instead. They looked to keep trying to entry out from the squeak door. AWP upgrade coming through from Brokey, and knowing that Case Serato invested heavily in that last round, he's going to be on a Mac 10 for FURIA.
AK's in on the FURIA camp. Nades to do damage against those rifles, though. FaZe placing that one perfectly. Twist expecting more, but they've all made their way down secret. That's 4 players back here. Case Serato also sneaking through the vents. Carrigan is there on site, but he's the only man to defend against this onslaught that's about to hit him.
Art gets caught off in the wraparound to try and lurk his way into main. Now, they won't know about the player that dropped down into the vents, but they've got to get more CTs to this lower bomb site. Carrigan is the only player. There can be a quick rotate from Brokey with the AWP out from ramp.
Smoke on the suppressed, Carrigan with the AUG. Eyes held back, Mac 10 K Serato trying to reposition. That bomb's trying to find an angle to work with. They're making a lot of noise and they're giving FaZe the time here. The Orpa Brokey is now supporting Carrigan's part. Falls back to ramp though. They have an inkling suspicion that there might be something more up in play, but there's not. Twists outside, gathering the info. The smoke's on as Brokey looks back, sees the Mac 10, can't connect the shot, missing it out. Carrigan, the AUG. Looking back at Deacon, making his way back out. Both doors have been opened up. He'll get sprayed up by Vinny. The Orpa Brokey can't deny the bomb carrier, though. That's a 2-for-1 trade. It favors the CT side. And now Twist moves in. Lines up 2 frags. Doesn't get them both, though. K Serato trading with Vinny. Falling into the hands of Rain, leaving it all on K Serato again. Swung upon by the M4. This should be an easy kill. This should be a round denied by FaZe.
It was almost a double pump setup from FURIA. Like, they had their card shown that it was a take towards the lower side. They had a lot of footsteps being heard. They tried to slow it down and start playing the mind games. And for a moment, Brokey's attention was being pulled back up towards the top of ramp, just thinking maybe there's a bit of a lurk play that we haven't expected as of yet. They get back down towards the site. Carrigan falls, but how quickly the rotates get there on the city side to get there in numbers. Lots of AKs being picked up for Rain and Cold Zero going into round 20. And for FURIA, it's another hero investment, but they've got to get more rounds together. 12-7 up with a 5-round lead now for FaZe.
Fast vent dive coming in from FURIA. One player's missed it. They've all been bottlenecked. That's an easy spray for Rain. Gets Junior as well. Should know the art's back there. The bomb's on his back. They've all capitulated in the vent position. I can't believe that's just happened. FURIA caught up upon each other. K Serato now suddenly alone.
Oh, they couldn't get into the vents. And that's the worst position possible. K Serato is the only one that gets down towards lower. And this Tech9 just trying to see if he could take a little bit of a fight. Deals with Twist, picks up an M4, but that's really the only damage they should be able to find. No more than that. What a round from Rain. An ace to come through. And for FURIA, they'll be kicking themselves saying, how do we not get into the vents there?
Appropriate that this is the round the tactical pause comes in. I can imagine that someone on FURIA is furious. FaZe just gifted that round. Rain gifted that ace. Was it Art, the player that got caught up in the vent entrance? One of them did, and that just threw the whole round off kilter for them.
For a moment, it seemed like, first of all, 2 players missed it, and then maybe like they sandwiched each other, that they were both trying to get into the vent at the same time, and they were just all stuck. Like, that's the problem, is if you don't get into the vent straight away with that smoke down, you just start getting lost in the smoke, and then you've got no idea what's happening. And for Rain, he just goes, right, I'm going to spam here, I'm going to burst, and kills just keep coming.
For FURIA, definitely a hindrance to them. I'm wondering if their confidence has been rocked by that. I hope that 30-second pause was there to reset themselves and just try not to let that rest on their minds. Brokey still gets the first pick on Yuri, though. Aggressive peek in from the hut position. Gets away with it, and Rain not even known here. Still going to take down Art. K Serato can find a response at least to the 2-for-1 trade. Brokey, a bit too overly aggressive in lobby, though.
I'm not sure why that aggression's coming out. They've got themselves a 4 versus 3, and that was just silliness, really, to come through from the city side. That was a massive overextension, and now this has allowed a way back in here for the FURIA side. They're slow walking in towards the upper side, and they're realizing, hang on a minute, guys, this is actually completely open.
Walk straight in, get the bomb down. FaZe have Cold Zero being aggressive in the ramp position, and the players downstairs will not be in the most ideal of rotation angles. I believe that Carrigan's currently in the rafters, the catwalk. No one in heaven, therefore Twists can't deny the plant. With 3v3 for this retake. FURIA, again, just being gifted control by FaZe.
It just seems like it's got to have to be a save if Junior hits this shot, because really for the CTs, yeah, there's money in the reserve, but it's not really worth just chucking it into it, especially when you've got no one really in rotating positions. Finally, 2 players going up from heaven. If it's going to be going in for this, it's going to be late.
Flashes over, Carrigan swing upon. K Serato gets that kill. Cold Zero with the trade, but his teammates have fallen. Desperately looking for wallbangs. He's getting close. but no tags, no frags. Swing upon Vinny, seeing him. Tap, burst, spray through, gets the headshot in the end, but he's run out of time. Grabs that AWP instead and runs for it. As we see 8 to the board of FURIA.
In hindsight, that retake was actually pretty successful. Yeah, they don't win the round, but think about where the money lies here for FURIA. Only one player survives in on that post plant, and the AWP gets recovered for the CT side. They can chuck it back over to Brokey. Even going into the next rifle round, we're going to see a Galil up for Junior, and a chance for the T side to pretty much just get reset again. 2 Galils out in total for Vinny and Junior. And FURIA, the one thing that they really need on this T side is to obviously slow the momentum down, start bringing rounds themselves, but they've got to win them more convincingly. They've got to be able to build up the bank, and a lot of utility coming in towards the upper side. Qualifier to start things off.
Straight spray to get Rain. Art going to dive down through the vents to join his teammate. Twist can get those frag, though, transfers it towards the second player. Does damage, doesn't get the frag. 3-on-3 situation is Cold-Zero, tries to hold himself back past that smoke, lets that player again cross back down. Bomb is on site. Qualifier can tank that nade safely and get away with the plant. Yuri on outside could get overwhelmed, but even the AWPer misses his chance.
They might bring this bomb back to upper. Now, they've got an outside lurk from Yuri. Oh, there was a moment there where I think the AWP was somewhere towards outside. It's actually T-Red from Brokey. Yuri reads the play. Cold-Zero looking back into it. Now for a 2v2, the upper side's completely open.
Vinny's going to make his way out towards it. Brokey. Peeks in at the perfect moment. Now all on Yuri to get the round together. Should be heard. Dropping in from heaven. Carrigan was there at hell. Shots going blind. Brokey doesn't find the frag. Does find the bomb, though. His best bet is to rotate towards the B side. He's going to go for the long rotation, though, all the way in from ramp.
This is going to take some time, and he's going to have to make sure that when he gets towards that lower side, that he's trying to get that bomb plan in straight away. Now, we can see players dropping down in towards the vents as quickly as possible. How much does Yuri find on this? Time is still ticking, and now he's got to make the play. Knife out, get towards that lower bomb site. The CTs are already on rotation. Brokey's already coming in from secret.
Can he get the double doors? Yes, he can, and Yuri gets caught off guard. Should have ran as soon as he made that noise, but because he stalled for an extra second, that gave Carrigan and Brokey enough time to get to position, get an easy retake, and grab the AWP as well. 14 to the border FaZe. FURIA trying to keep pace, but the opposition is still flying ahead now. 6 rounds in the lead for the CT forces, and well, thanks to that T-side basis, it looks like a much better FaZe compared to yesterday. One that might just win this map.
And that was a play that you can even see the confidence that comes through from Brokey. Like, Carrigan is still trying to rotate towards that lower bomb side. He hears the bomb being planted through towards the B side, and he just opens up double doors and commits to that fight straight away. Isn't able to deny it, so there is that little bit of extra cash injection up for FURIA. 6 round the difference, though, and is it going to be another fast play out from Squeak?
Potentially so. Rain's going to insert himself into that line. Find Art on the frag. Cold-Zero gets 2 as well. Dropping that bomb. It'll 5 versus 2. This round might already be over for FURIA, especially with Brokey getting Yuri. It's definitely over for Qualifier.
Yeah, nothing he could do in 1v5. That positioning was just excellent from Rain. One of the first times I've actually ever seen the CTs playing close up towards Squeak. They've always been able to play like top hard or on the site or behind the closed vent, and that time around it's just a slaughter. Cold-Zero's able to get a multi-frag. Rain does damage. Qualifier, though, is turning this back in his favor, but he's still got 3 more kills to find.
And 14 HP to do it in. It has to be perfect headshots or bust. That AWP was looking down. Squeaky Door did not go fully around the corner. Just thinking about it. Qualifier expecting FaZe to make a mistake. They know that they've got to push Carrigan. They know that he has to try and challenge this player, get the kill in and grab that bomb, and they're just not going to move. Neither is Qualifier. It's all the waiting game. He's the man that's got to make the play the moment he peaks, and it's also such an easy frag to find as well. Looking back at main, back into Squeaky. Carrigan repositioning. Utility will go down. That incendiary. Try and drive him away, Brokey. Here's the footstep. Gets the kill in. And it'll be map point for FaZe.
FURIA, it seemed like for them, they really had things going for them towards the back end of that first half. But over on T-side, they've only been allowed 1 T-side round. And the money is just wrecked again. They're going to have to completely force buy. Obviously down by 8 to 15. But you look at this and you think, well, there's not going to be any AKs, really. There'll be 1 at most. Vinny might be able to go body armor in an AK. But really, the money, it's just so wrecked here.
Well, technical timeout for the FURIA side due to FPS bugs, so an extra moment to think about things for this team and for the individuals involved, because you take a look at the stat lines as well. A moment's respite to look at that right here for the FURIA side. The only player that's cracked past the 20 frag market is Serato. Everybody else, 16 or less, 8 frags in the case of Junior, and obviously Junior meaning that that main import. Definitely don't want to be seeing him have an off game. That's not going to bode well for FURIA fans. 7 rounds to the comeback here, and if there's going to be a round to start it, it's got to be this one. They've got to go pop in here in round 24.
I don't even think he's had the AWP in his hands at all on this T side. If it has, it's only been 1 round, but again, that's still a little bit of an excuse. No players positive outside of Serato with the KD differential. And for FURIA, it's all about survival rounds, seeing if they can get up towards double digits, nades towards the outside position, trying to get back in towards Secret as quickly as possible.
The Eagles set in, Galils and AKs to hang up damage. Serato falling down. Carrigan on the site itself broke key, seeing the double doors open up, take the shot on Junior, get that frag in, taps through the Galils, Molotovs will not stop him as his flicks are good. Carrigan gets one with a tag, and Binny, last player left, will try to look for that bomb out in the open. It's not going to happen. 16-8, FaZe will have their map pick, and I have to say, to start off this post game, much better from FaZe compared to yesterday.
They look drilled. They look like they're all on the same page. The shots coming out. Brokey had an insane performance with the AWP. So damn consistent, hitting those flicks. And for FURIA, it just felt like they never really got going. There were moments of brilliance, but being able to always be on the back foot of the economy really hurt them in this map.
It really did, and with FaZe just having such a great early lead, it felt like they were always playing from the back foot. They were always trying to catch up on the FURIA side. They never had that moment to actually do so, and FaZe looked absolutely dominant there. Yes, there was that comeback moment where they brought it back to 8-7, but it was still to the favor of FaZe, and they won the pistol in CT side, then the CT side got going, and there was really no chance there for the FURIA side. I don't think there was anything particularly wrong, except for the fact that there was a serious lack of performance on a number of players there. Again, Serato, the only player to crack past the 20 marker on the frag counts. There's got to be more numbers from those guys. There's got to be more impact.
And maybe it is just the map of Nuke. You do have to take that as to a bit of an exception. You know, it is FaZe's map pick, and FaZe looked really well. But yeah, it does go both ways from FURIA. I think we saw a lot of entities going really quiet. Serato was having a great game. It seemed like he was the only one really having a great game. And for FURIA, I'm sure that in this break, they're going to have to sort of buck their ideas up, go into the second map of the series and say, right, we need to be able to strike now.
Well, Nuke was the map pick at a FaZe side, so you can't be too stunned they were able to win it. A bit stunned that FURIA lost it in that kind of one-sided fashion, but their map pick of Inferno is coming up after the break, so a chance to turn the fortunes around and evade elimination. Do not go anywhere. IEM Summer Close qualifiers continue after the break.
Miles of love, yeah. We stay understated. Pressure feels amazing. Carpe diem, I know I got only one life. Don't wanna spend it, listen to your bitch and whine. It's a little mean, I know, well, apologies. Got my New Year resolutions and my honesty. Trust me, it ain't nobody that say nobody that say none of my business. It ain't none of your business. Nobody that say nobody that say none of my business. It ain't none of your business.
same excuses. I think it's getting old. I ain't your therapist, I ain't your magic 8-ball. Can't really tell you anything you don't already know. No one said it was easy. Don't even bother, cause I'm in this secure location. I turned off my phone and my patience. I wanna help you, but you ain't even trying. You made your own bed, now you gotta fucking lie. Ain't nobody, nobody makes it. Ain't nobody, nobody makes it. Ain't none of my business. Ain't none of my business. Nobody, nobody makes it. Nobody, nobody makes it. Ain't none of my business. It ain't none of your Nobody, nobody listening. Nobody, nobody listening. None of my business. It ain't none of my business.
Faced myself in the mirror not so long ago, and I told me, do you know? I told me, do you know? All alone in your head, but you don't have to pretend that you will make a change, cause you don't wanna change. I'm gonna be real honest this time. I'm okay with it, I am more than fine. I'm gonna roll all less red dice now. Tell me I won't get out. Tell me I won't get out. I wanna walk the sky alone among the stars without forgetting who I was or have to look back that far. And I don't want to forget who, get who. And are you just fucking around in my mind one last time? I'm gonna be real honest this time. I'm okay with it, I am more than fine. I'm gonna roll all less red dice now. Tell me I won't get out. Tell me I won't get out. Tell me I won't. Trap me inside your walls now. Tell me I won't get out. Tell me I won't get out. Crush me with all that you are now. Tell me I won't get out. So tell me I won't get out.
Oh, I see the signs and I see we're there. And I feel the lies and I feel the sand. Forever who we are, no matter if we're cast away. A fire in the dark.
Well, FaZe have taken their map pick in Nuke, which is a good positive start in this series as they fend off elimination against FURIA, looking into map 2 where things could get a little bit more interesting at this stage to Egg. Although, to say that they've got a task ahead of them is to say the least I want to say here. FURIA, this is their map pick, this is their chance to strike back, and while they had their bright spots on Nuke, it's a case of now converting those into consistency here on the second.
And we yet to see a competitive map to come through from FURIA. Think back to their match yesterday against Movistar Riders. They only took 6 rounds on each respective map, and now they've come into Nuke. They've only taken 8. You've got to wonder that now, sort of moving into an Inferno, when are we actually going to see a map victory and a close affair from FURIA? This is probably the perfect opportunity because they're on a 3-map winning streak of Inferno, and they've looked very good in it recently.
Indeed, they have, but it's also been looking good for FaZe in recent times as well. They've got wins against Ents and obviously the Mouseport side in the Virtus.pro League. They had wins against Liquid and a close series against MIBR as well. So they've had a couple of really, really good results in the past few months in that respect. So they've got a decent map that could favour them, I think, coming into this one. I think the main issue is obviously whether or not they'll be able to contest against the FURIA win streak. They've got the momentum coming into this. One of those series wins that you mentioned was against Gambit, which is pretty huge, I want to say. So for them, they've definitely got the advantage coming into this. My main concern for FURIA has nothing to do with the map statistics and their recent history on it. It's more to do with how that last map played out, because FaZe just got the advantage and FURIA could never ever get it back despite their best efforts. There were a number of players underperforming, I want to say. It felt like K-Serata was the only guy that was having his moments, and as a result, the rest of FURIA, I think, need to step up around him if they want to have a chance here.
Yeah, you're probably right about that. I mean, Junior didn't really have the AWP much in that second half, but even in the first and second combined, he just really wasn't able to find a lot of impact. It felt like Art was very hit and miss with his aggressive plays too. So going into an Inferno, I'm sure there's going to be a lot of words being exchanged between the whole team to be able to see if they can, bounce back and start playing their own game. But you've got to wonder that going into Inferno for FaZe, in comparison to how they looked yesterday, they'd look like a such more dominant team. And maybe that match sharpness is exactly what they needed yesterday for them to be able to perform in the lower bracket.
Yeah, they look good individually, they look good as a team, and they just look good in general. In terms of just the raw eye test, it looks so much better than yesterday. And I think that's more than what you could ask for these guys, having had such a disaster against OG, which could, to be fair, could have been a close series. And definitely I think a lot of people having seen that first map thought it would be a close series. But, again, the main concern for the FaZe side, having seen that close sort of start there on that first map in yesterday's series, they got blown out in the second, which is what led to that 2-0. So I wonder if there's a similar situation, especially knowing the FURIA's map pick is up next. What are things to avoid for FaZe to ensure that doesn't happen here on Inferno?
I think for FaZe, they've just got to be able to keep the pressure up. That was something that they did really well in. There was some rounds in which they probably didn't need to buy, and they did. It felt like they were able to be in charge of the economy situation for the majority of the first half and the second, and you've just got to make your stars really shine. And I think for Brokey, just pass him over the AWP as often as possible because he was really hitting everything. I thought the Twist was doing a really good job as lurking. So just being able to not really change the game plan too much from that last map and bring it over to the second is probably what they need to be able to provide.
Yeah, Broker especially. He had an absolute map right there. Plus 12 on the KD, top fragger by a country mile, 1.5 rating. He had everything. And he looked good. And it wasn't just him that looked good. We had Twist having his moments. Cold Zero had his moments as well. So even though Broker was playing lights out, we had players behind him that were also playing lights out at the same time. So a lot of challenges here for the FURIA side to try and overcome. And I think they'll start by trying to shut down that AWPer and trying to see if they can take him out of play and stop him from really doing any major damage here for the for the FaZe side. They've got the bases of the map to work with. They know exactly what they're doing here. How much time do you think they would have had, or how much research do you think they would have put into trying to deal with FaZe here on this map?
It's always difficult whenever you come into a tournament that's got an upper and lower bracket because it's a lot more lot less time, I guess, to kind of prepare for the teams. If it's a group stage, you prepare for everyone, whereas when you're in an upper bracket and lower bracket, you don't kind of know who you're going to be facing off against. We know that a lot of these teams have been able to probably prepare for the last couple of weeks, be able to prepare last night as well. So you do want to think that for both of these teams, they have been able to do as much homework as possible coming into this series. And for FaZe, I think they're in a very good position to really take the fight to FURIA on Inferno and get revenge by knocking them out of the tournament rather than being knocked out themselves.
And to do it in 2-0 fashion as well would send a statement to everybody else in the bracket, because I think a lot of teams are looking at FaZe as decent scalps to take off the back of that OG series, seeing how poor they did look in the context of that matchup. So for them, they they would like to take this map, and I think they have the chance to do so against the FURIA side. But again, they've got to get that early start. They've got to get that pistol. They've got to get that rifle, that first rifle. They've got to carry that momentum forward, especially in this first half right here. If they can do that, then they can keep them on the back foot and keep them constantly trying to play catch up throughout the course of that map up. And again, a 2-0 for FaZe would be perfect to stay alive. Again, as you mentioned, the revenge storyline, they'd eliminate FURIA from this lower bracket, eliminate them from IEM Summer's close qualifiers, and again, to move forward in the bracket, to send a statement to everybody else that are playing in this tournament. We've got a pistol round going live. FaZe will be on the CT start. FURIA have the utility on Serato and Art.
Yeah, FaZe bringing a lot of players out towards mid. They're going to get very aggressive and look to challenge immediately, and they might catch FURIA in towards Banana without expecting this aggression.
Rain pressing forward alongside coldzera. They'll combine to get those first couple of picks back on Art and Yuri. 5 versus 3 again. Serato tagged, Vinny also tagged Junior, going falling as well to 2 left standing to FURIA. Serato desperate to fight his way out of this corner, but so many CTs to find. Twist gets a 3K, and it's a pistol for FaZe.
Well, they just work with the advantage. We see that they bring 4 players out towards brackets. Doesn't seem like everyone wants to get hyper-aggressive, but once they start taking duels and they're winning those fights, that's when the cavalry starts to come in. What a round from Twist in particular. 3 kills, great taps up towards a Banana position. And for FURIA, they weren't even able to get out of Banana. They were sandwiched in. They had a B site anchor to come through from FaZe, everyone else in from mid. And because there was no bomb plant and really no kills being exchanged, they're just going to pretty much block this round out. A single P250 upgrade for Serato. That is it.
Molotovs in, drive players away from the apartments area. Serato boosted up on the P250. Get himself involved in this eco round. It is a basic eco for FURIA though. Despite the upgrade pistol on that one player, it's Glocks out for everybody else. No Kevlar, no utility. Yeah, pretty basic round for FaZe to clean up. FURIA, just a case of trying to see if they can do some damage and evade that SMG of Karrigan.
Yeah, a bit of a throwaway round here from FURIA. If they were able to kind of work a pick and just work with a little bit of aggression, then it might be something to get some trades out. But Twist, last player you probably want on this FaZe side to really start to hype up is him, because he could just explode. And more kills started to come through. Might be a bit of a chance of having a bit of a play out towards the B side, but they've already lost the bomb. So what can they do with this? Not really much.
Rain gets his kill on Art. Yuri losing the bomb, trying to see if he can burst through and try and fit some frags on the SMG to get some extra money for it. But even then, to make his way into one of these positions in the CT or Banana angle, just to lose his life, so that way he can get the money into the next round. Does find a $600 frag, but now FaZe are just going to evade him, press right into the Banana presence. And if he stays alive after time, then that could be pretty crippling, I think, to the FURIA camp. He's got a bit of money, so he can afford the Kevlar around the FAMAS. And that seems to be what he wants to do here. Going to opt against the AKs. Okay. 2-0 for FaZe. I question this move, but it's what he's going to go for in the end.
I guess he's got a bit of money behind him, so it works out okay. Everyone else will be able to buy AKs. You've got a FAMAS, he's got money behind him, so he'll be able to buy up that util and armor. And for an eco, it looks pretty good there from FURIA. They lose, oh, they take what? A couple of players with them, even an SMG kill comes out, so that's an extra little bit of money to go the way of Yuri. And now the bike can come back. Mac 10 up for Serato. Seen a lot of Mac 10s coming through on the T side of Nuke between both teams, actually, in that first map of the series.
First one out here for FURIA today. In this map at the very least. I mentioned a lot coming out over on Nuke, but let's see whether they can get any major kills. They've got head Kevlar across the entire CT board, so it won't be easy. Vinny taking that contact into the apartments, 2 players moving up towards Banana. So FURIA are pressing onto their default line. FaZe are just happy to go passive and wait for them to make their moves up.
Oh, Vinny doesn't quite capitalize on that secondary kill. Great flash in, but look at the response in for the City side. They're now maintaining a 4 versus 3, looking to try and fight out towards this Banana position. Flash goes in, Karrigan looking to pick up the AK, fall back, and now FURIA have got to get that nade down towards Pink, and that deal with Twist. Oh, he gets out of there!
That must have been like a foot away from him going down. Serato nearly went down as well. 7 HP for him. It's a good thing he's carrying the Mac 10 because that's pretty much going to be a requirement here. That AK drops out of favor, then we're going to be in a bad spot for the FURIA side. 47 seconds. Rain and Carrigan there on the B side defensive. Twists and Cold Zero ready towards the A play. Utility going to get set up here for FURIA to try to go for this basic XE. They've got the incendiaries down a phase. We'll try and ensure that doesn't happen. Here they go. Incendiary on new box. Time ticking away for FURIA if they drop that bomb at the wrong moment or if the 2CT just lock out the defensive easy. Matt could be around. Simple as for FaZe. They force Carrigan back with a dink. 15 seconds. Rain still playing close range. Carrigan gets Yuri. Rain takes that bomb as well. That's a beautiful shot of the AK, and it's enough to get FaZe past the finish line.
How did Carrigan hit that? He just sprayed, trying to get back towards Dark, and somehow a stray bullet connects onto the player out from Hobbit. FURIA have not been able to get off the best of starts over on this T side. Another hero investment coming through from the AK. They'll chuck that over to Art. We saw a lot of these kind of buys coming through from FURIA on the T side of Nuke, but they've got to get going because this is very parallel in how FaZe got off to a very good start.
They can run away with this in the first half, then FURIA will be up the creek. Hero AK buy back this AK on Art, being the only main weapon that they have. There's a shot. Carrigan set to fall. 5 versus 4 gain. FURIA have got themselves a man advantage, but serious HP hindrances on Yuri and Art especially. Smoke standing. T-side players facing. Flashes forward. There's 2 sprays for Rain. Makes it 3. Trying to transfer it towards that Quadra, but no. Vinny can trade it. Still Cold Zero on site. Drops that bomb. And Art on 3 points of health has got no chance.
It's been an okay round. When you think of the investment, they get away with a couple of kills. They would have really liked a bomb plant, but I doubt that's going to happen. 3 HP for Art. And there could have been an over-aggressive twist looking to get right down towards Banana, but they're making sure that they're not really offering up any unnecessary fights. Instead, just jiggle peeking the angle, making sure that if the fight does come to them, that they're aware of it. And Art just hoping to continue to do some damage.
Can't get anything. Cold Zero with his second. And good effort there from FURIA, but not quite getting the 3 kills they need to deficit the economy, so. Got to take that one on the chin and get the real rifles back in for round 5. They've got a Galil for Art, so he's going to be limited in certain facets. M4's up, AWP, of course, for Brokey. Cold Zero with the 1 AK that was saved from that round for the FaZe clan side. 4-0. If they can get to 5, FURIA better start sweating because whilst it might be a situation they can turn around in the short term, in the long term game, this momentum that FaZe have had, it's going to come back to bite them.
A crazy amount of utility being used by FaZe towards Banana, but they're not actually taking it. We saw 4 players in total out towards that B site. HG coming through straight on Queserado's position. And FURIA will be thinking to themselves, how is there so many nades? They must have stacked up the B site, but they're kind of wrong about that because players have rotated back to A, and Queserado's been double naded down to 15.
Very severely tagged. Flashes on, AK spray, Rain gets the frag in on Art, nice and efficient, nice and quick, doubling up for the secondary pick, trying to make it triple, no, Vinny gets 2 to return back instead of a 3 versus 3. Rotations are inbound for the CT side, they've got a major HP advantage, especially above Queserato. Molotov's up as Brokey starts round to the corner with the AWP, sees 1, takes, Vinny takes damage, still gets a secondary pick on for the triple. Oh! Nice and efficient with that flick, that was beautiful. And FaZe maintain 5.
Oh, he just don't give a damn. They molly him out towards Coffins. I'll sit in the molly for a little bit, and then I'll get forward of it and keep taking fights. A 3K to come through from the AWP out from Coffins. And FURIA are yet to get going up on this T side. FaZe, you saw how much emphasis they had in terms of the nades down towards Banana, the fights looking to continue coming through, and how quickly the rotates got there in time.
FURIA just can't catch a break here in this early game. FaZe are looking so ready for this. Doing damage, getting kills. In this round, it's going to be nades on and Molotovs to Queserato. Yuri is going to try to get boosted into the apartment's face. ball back here. Passive positions taken by FaZe.
Both Nuke and Inferno were the two maps we didn't see in the last head-to-head in IEM Katowice. But FaZe have come into this well-prepared, and for FURIA, it just looks like it's going to be a bracket stake. Try and see if they can force coldzera away from the long copy corner.
Art looking on short. Keeping his eyes on long. Molotovs against his position. Smokes go down. He swings, and so does coldzera. Gets 2 kills instead. Drops that bomb. Yuri with a good return frag, but quickly responded to by Brokey, and he's one of 2 players that remain with Yuri alongside him. AK swings, spray back, catches 1 frag, traded back on Twisted Part. Serato responds, but now the bomb been left down into CT favor, and FaZe should just lock down the crossfire.
Rain's going to have to be wary and ask for Karrigan to come as quickly as possible, but between the two of them, there shouldn't really be too much of an ask. Flash goes out towards that long position. That could just be a shoulder bait from Rain, just to make sure that that bomb is still there and wait for cover, and Serato might just want to save onto the orb. Oh, doesn't happen.
Nope. Runs right into Rain. 6-0 to the start of FaZe. This is the concern that I had. You've seen their previous victories, their previous results on this map, and FURIA, I mean, they had a risk of their own right picking into it. We obviously had all our attention drawn on the risk of Nuke, and well, FURIA are suffering hard because of this 6-0 tactical pause called in by the Brazilian camp. They need to turn it around here.
I don't think they've had a post plant yet on T side. I think every single round has just been won by FaZe without even really letting FURIA get towards a bomb side. I'm thinking to myself, the only time they've actually got close towards a bomb site was maybe that takeout towards Banana, where Karrigan was like diving back towards Emo and having that defensive lined up from Rain. But overall, this has just been so rock solid from FaZe Clan. And for FURIA, you've got to wonder what's being said in this tactical pause, because you mentioned some of the individuals not stepping up. Junior, in particular, in that last map, 0-6 to start off an Inferno.
Is James Bond in server today? He might be sneaking around the FURIA camp. FURIA. You can see how they realize that they are underperforming in that respect. And I think you might be right about that bomb plant position. They've gotten nothing out of these rounds. We saw them lose the pistol handling in Banana. They run out of timer on the second. There's defense after defense after defense for FaZe. And Yuri is first to fall to Brokey, straight out into the apartments, face kill, 5-on-4.
Now he wants another one. He's repositioned up towards a quad position, waiting to take that duel onto Junior. And the T side have got to be careful, because if Junior falls, that's the bomb being dropped. They've got Vinny as that second man to try and swing out from the brackets control. And now coldzera is getting aggressive. Junior's got to hold the sight line.
Does Cold swing? If he does, that might be Junior's first pick. Art trying to strike back, or connecting. Junior drops. Vinny gets 2 to return, though. So it's a 3v3. That bomb has also been dropped back there. FURIA having those 2 lurkers. The bomb's going to rotate back with it. They catch off Rain in construction. So now it's all left to Karrigan. Swinging out in the open, gives up the kill to Serato. And FaZe capitulating on the 1 good sequence and 2 bad peaks.
Yeah, they've just got no idea what's happening there. Twist has got to try and go in for this 1 versus 3. They can chuck the bomb over, make sure there's really no way they can go in for this retake. Spamming through, even more damage. Art trying to work on the edge of this smoke, and Twist just falls. Great shot coming out for Serato. And for Brokey, what was that? 2 missed shots to come out from Porch. Wasn't able to establish that crossfire from coldzera. Vinny gets 2 kills from brackets, and that just scrambles the rotations. Rain wants to get out of coffins as quickly as possible to rotate through. Art has gone through the CT smoke to catch him off from construction. A really nice round indeed from FURIA, and they just punish the mistakes from their opposition.
Hero AWP for FaZe coming into this round. Karrigan, I think, got a good spawn for the AWP. Lands the leg shot on Junior, facing in against Vinny. I think he got a tag off there. Over that, it was the nades. Rain actually gets the first eagle shot in, the kill found on Serato. They've got upgrade pistols to surround the AWP, and they work 5v3. What's happened here, FURIA?
Yeah, it doesn't look good from the offset. Hero AWP investment up from Karrigan, and they've got a 5-on-3 with Junior on 16 points health. I'm pretty sure that was the leg shot from the AWP. Oh no, this is not a great state at all. The one thing that FURIA have going for them is they've got the bomb in control, and Art is trying to sell a fake out towards the B side. AWP peeks in from Karrigan. Oh, another leg shot!
give the up to Brokey now, guys. Carrigan is at least pressuring them. He set up Junior and Art for easy frags with the pistols, so very possible for them. AK Swinger. Vinny, however, gets his pick back together. 4 versus 3, making it 2 as Brokey gets Vinny to return back. Now Junior and Art. Last couple of players remaining. 40 seconds to the clock. Time is running short. They have to get this bomb plant in. Orb ready for the cross. Art falls. All left to Junior also being seen. Still no frags on this one. Here's James Bond for the moment. And that's not going to change.
Oh, it just gets worse. It gets worse from FURIA. Just when they win a round, you think, okay, this could be the way on the T side. And then the return just comes through. Rain hits a deagle shot. Couple of leg shots come out from the Orb. Oh, FURIA, it has been a rough day in the office for the last couple. And do they just take another tactical? Like, they've got to bounce back, but I don't know how.
FURIA. Rain spray through, catches 2 frags alongside Carrigan. Makes it a triple in the end. K-Serata with his trade back. Both those players fall, but they've taken apart most of the entire T-side falls for it. The rush tactics not working well for FURIA. K-Serato, he was great in that first map, so the clutch is on, but got to isolate all 3 1v1s.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of utility to work with, but he's got to try and get an advantage and maybe try and see if he can take a fight. Players starting to move in, couple of kits and util in play, and Brokey's just trying to relay the information over, allow Twist to get up from Banana, and they can just slow it down. They can play the time.
To make their move eventually, though. K-Serata getting flashed out, expecting there to be Banana presence from Twists. Sat back at the Shire to look back up to the side. See the swing on the first, transfers that spray, doesn't make it a 3K. The defuse coming in from Cold Zero will just have enough time. That'll be 8-1 to the board, and K-Serata again being the consistent bright spot here for FURIA. Is not quite top fragging here for his team, but that clutch, that looked possible with him.
It seemed like FaZe gave a lot of respect to him, didn't they? Like, they didn't really want to get that round over and done with. They wanted to slow it, and eventually they kind of all peaked together. There was a bit of a moment where they offered up individual duels towards Banana and CT, but Cold Zero wins the 1v1, gets that bomb defused. Mid-smoke coming through straight away from the CT side from Cold Zero. FURIA, though. Oh, man. They've got to be able to get a rifle round, and another quick rush towards Banana.
Sprays on the M4s, damage being done so significantly. That nade's actually get a good kill in for Carrigan. He does find Art, and Rain gets Yuri. Such chaos in Banana every single time, but FaZe find a way to come out on top of it. T-side players making their way forward to the smokes. The AK of Vinny will lead the charge. Junior making his way up with the Orb. Does get his first kill of the game. Cold Zero falling. Rain still gets his pick back burst and a second taps up the head. Evades the Orb. Junior gonna face a close range. Rain on for the Quadra. Eventually gets dealt with by the big green gun with Junior. Now got to deal with Brokey next to the P250. Doesn't even need the main rifle. FaZe will get to 9. FURIA still hitting brick walls here.
Rain's having an unbelievable map. He was really quiet in their series against OG yesterday. He was one of the lower fraggers for FaZe in that first map. And he's just come alive. Out towards that Banana position. He's constantly hitting with damage. Like, FURIA running up towards Banana. They got hit by incendiaries. HG, spam out from Carrigan. A couple of great taps towards the back of the side. 9-1 up for FaZe. This is getting out of hand so quickly.
Nades on, flashes over. Carrigan taking damage in Banana. This time FURIA have completely vacated this angle. Vinny actually catches Rain through the smoke. So Carrigan's left alone. How much can he do with this M4? He's tagged so heavily, turning away from flashes. Will they check the corner? Yes, they do. He still lines up the spray on 1 damage to the second. Not that much to Vinny. They can storm the B site. They can probably get the plant down here.
And for Brokey, if they smoke off towards CT, he really can't find any impact, but just try and push through that smoke, and that's what he's going to try and do. Up close and personal, can't hit the shot. And now Vinny has opened up the B site, and for the CTs, they're saving already.
Yeah, getting out of dodge. No sense in throwing away these weapons, especially with the money line being where it is for FaZe. And this is the breaking point for FURIA. This is their way back into this game. The second to their board with no real buyback for FaZe. I think they've got no loss bonus, right? Because they just won 2 in a row against FURIA. Maybe even more than that. They've got plenty of potential here for this T side. FaZe. The worst case scenario for them is still a 9-6 half to their favor. So they've still achieved all that they can here on CT. I imagine that probably double eco is calling, so there might be a force buy around these rifles. Yeah, $1,400 of money flowing into the bank accounts for the FaZe side. And Carrigan's still on a decent amount of cash, so is Rain and Brokey, but it's probably best to go ahead and force the issue here.
And knowing how successful they've been on ecos and force buys probably indicates it even further with 1900 loss bonus of buy it up. You know, the Cold Zero can drop a FAMAS over to a teammate. Carrigan probably by himself. Twist could drop an MP9. And taking a tactical timeout, the first one here for the international squad. And for FaZe, like, this, it just looks good from the offset. And we knew that there'd been some struggles of Carrigan sort of coming into the team, you know, not the best of performances in IEM Katowice, finishing, what, second last in their group in Pro League. And being able to kind of bounce back in the lower bracket and have a decent run might be their chance of being able to qualify for another IEM event. For FURIA, the one thing that's in their mind right now is we've got to get rounds. Get rounds on this T side, because for FaZe, they can still win this on round 12 with the buy status that they have.
SMGs, the scouts in. One of which is trying to force forward. Actually, both SMGs here in the banana control. Nade, close, flash in. Queserato caught, dink down, but doesn't get taken down. 2 frags on him. Headshot on Rain, spray to Carrigan. 5 versus 3 gained already. Counter Smoker Twist is going to try set himself up to the defensive along with the scout play. The AK holding back at the cross though, hearing footsteps, waiting for more T-side contact. Smoke down at the cross itself. Brokey with a scout. Gets that shot on Queserato. That's a decent start. Not quite onto the second player, but Twist through the smoke finds Vinny to trade. So 3-on-3 situation. That bomb's been dropped across as well. The CTs aren't aware of it. Scout continuing facing the sniper rifle. Oh my god, he's got Junior. How did he hit that?
I don't know how this is happening. Now, they've got info that the A site is clear, but it's not really Art's even being tagged up. Another kill comes through from the scout, and Yuri's making footsteps. This is an easy kill for Cold Zero. Oh my goodness, what a hold over at the B side. Brokey, he can do it with a Deagle, he can do it with an M4, an AK, a scout, or an AWP. It doesn't matter what weapon it is.
How? How? 2 SMGs and a scout. And the scout had so much impact, by the way. Brokey. Talk about Queserato being the bright spot for FURIA. He's the bright spot for FaZe. The difference is that he's got teammates that are also having moments. Rain's top fragging. Twist and Cold Zero still having moments. FURIA falls down to tactical because they realize they should not have lost that round. And it sets them back quite a margin here. There's a buy involved, but 10-2 is the scoreline. FaZe feeling like they're making up the distance compared to because they've lost so many against OG earlier yesterday. Very similar state when they were on the back foot, and now FURIA are the ones suffering.
Yeah, payback time. I'll take it any day in server. I'd love to see a team just brawl it out, and that's what FaZe are doing. They're constantly taking banana control. They're putting so much pressure in. They're getting aggressive, and they're just hitting like nut shots at the moment. FURIA, very similar to how things were on Nuke when it comes to the individual rounds. Nade stack up towards banana. Look at the damage. Oh, it's going to burn to the molly, and Queserato's down low.
Further nades following up, doing damage to Junior and Queserato. Tagged all the way to 23. Brokey wrapping over with the AWP. Looking on to the brackets position, expecting there to be some sort of T-side presence. There is, but Vinny's backed up. Queserato making noise out here to banana. They're slowly pressing on the default to the 2-2 split.
Oh, this read. Like, they're going to gamble stack up the B side. They bring the AWP on rotation. And for FURIA, they're kind of split at the moment. They've got the bomb with a teammate out from the apartments towards the A side. Brokey looking to try and take a face in towards CT. Does get punished by Junior. Back to a 4v4 now.
He's burning. Midst of that flashbang, the Fire gives away the information, knowing that there's a player out there. He doesn't die just yet. Vinny. coldzera round this corner for a fight. Who's going to win it? Cold, better be ready. Flash forward, he's blind, transfer that spray to Serato, not as successful, the bullet can't quite land. Now Twist has got a little bit of pressure against him. Backup's on the way, he's on top of the back box. Yuri moving in, not checked, headshot, easy. Serato up on the stack, felt with by Rain. Junior, 1 versus 3 with his AWP. He's not been good enough to make this work at all. 11 to the border phase, it continues to get better and better for this CT squad.
That just looks so juicy. Even in that position where they get the opening fight, like great nades down towards Banana, maybe a little bit more of an aggressive repeat from Brokey up towards CT, and it's into a 4v4, and they go, yeah, no worries. We see a flash over the top from Twist. coldzera peeks with it out from mid, spots that bomb, gets that one-on-one trade, and then Twist just lines himself up on the side. Couple of great taps. Rain comes in at the perfect time on rotation out from Library. 11-2 up for FaZe Clan. What can these guys do against FURIA even further? Well, at least going into round 14, it looks better from the offset.
It's a good start for Art. Incendiary is on, trying to see if they can do some more damage, and Art will burn a 44 with the nades on Serato. Again, the utility placement from FaZe is so good here. Smokes to suppress, Molotovs won't land on the CT forces. FURIA definitively pressing into the A play here.
coldzera's picked up that AWP, looking to continue doing damage, and even a crossfire being set on the A side. FURIA looking to maybe back off, spam through that smoke, and actually coldzera at the edge of it.
4v3 for FURIA again, maintaining their man advantage. Carrigan playing contact on the B site. His 2 teammates here on A. Got to try and stop any sort of wraparound backstabs into the B site, so they'll have Rain placed on the arches. Actually pushing forward of it, baits in the AWP, good information gathering. And it forces Carrigan to move forward as FURIA are forced to make the execution happen here. 36 seconds. Time is running so short, and Twists could still be the denial player here. M4 of Rain on site, seen, spray through, catches that frag. Twists can strike alongside Rain, Bruce double up, Tech9 and Yuri, all that remains, gets that first frag, not getting that second. Rain with 3 kills. A well-placed round from him. Yes, damage done by FURIA, but not something they can win.
And this might be like the best half from Rain we have seen in months. Like, this is such an incredible performance from him. 22 kills and 8 deaths. He's just having a moment. He's having a really decent game. And for FURIA, they did a lot right in that position. They were able to open up brackets. They spammed through the long cubby corner, deal with coldzera. They've got themselves a 4v3, and they still can't get the trades out towards the A side between Twist and Rain.
Nades doing minimal damage this time for the CT side. Doesn't matter, Carrigan gets that first pick. Is traded back by Art through the smoke. So it's a 1-for-1 trade as the bomb gets picked up and rotated back into brackets. Twist is still here alongside Brokey, the AWP and the M4. The crossfire at the ready, swing of the AK, seeing the tap through, the M4 still back at quad. Seeing players coming out, the distraction still allows Yuri to get the pick somehow. 3 on 4, Molotov evaded by the smoke. FURIA do have access to the A site, they can get the bomb down from here.
Smoke off Moto and just try and play out the post plant, which feels like it's been forever since they've actually been in a position like this. For FaZe, you've got to wonder, do they really try and have a decent attempt of being able to make this round successful? Rain's got to be the guy to find the impact and catch off the player in Boiler.
Retake on Rain. Moving closer, Brokey and coldzera trying to find their way in. Rain gets the AWP to fall. Junior not scoped in at the boiler position. The flashbangs and Incendiary's going over. Vinny should get forced back deeper into the site. Headshot angle logged. There's Rain with his kill. Got to get a kill at mini pit. Got to stick the bomb at this stage. Art still gets the closest player to it though, and that should be enough. Brokey can find his frag, but he won't find the round as Yuri will secure a third. A buffer here for the FURIA side because FaZe still look dominant. They still look good, and going into the second half, they could still win it 2-0. We're back after the break.
Speak then.
but it's not the end. So get back up and fight again. Take one step, take another. Find the strength for your brothers. Erase the doubt with your battle cry. You feel the earth move to the drum of steel boots. Banish the fear inside. You're strong enough that you don't have to hide. No, you don't have to hide. You're strong enough with your battle cry. Clash of steel spills your blood. A whisper doubt fills your head, but you have to fight again. So take one step, take another. Find the strength for your brothers. Erase the doubt.
Well, if FaZe look good at the first half of their first map, they look even more better here on the first half of the second map. 12-3 on their CT side, and now going into the T half where FURIA are now going to have to put in something special to really bring this comeback. Already Rain into the pistol with twists. They do drop the bomb. Qualifier holding some semblance of a trade, but it swings back so quick. Qualifier makes it 2 frags, but only 2 frags. Yuri catching Brokey off guard. They've just got to get that bomb to the site now. It can rotate towards the B players. coldzera holds for the lurk, tries to deal with that last man. FaZe in a 1 versus 2 is still winnable, but difficult here.
Yeah, coldzera's got to kind of help out his teammate pretty much now because Rain is very low. He's getting that bomb out towards the B side, and coldzera is still lurking here in brackets. He's got to be able to get there in time, and there's the backstab coming in. Yuri's got a kit, but he doesn't have a smoke for the bomb.
Moving closer, Rain. Got to check the right place at the right time, not into the back corner. Has been seen, that's the tap. Now coldzera. Now needs to focus onto the bomb at plant position. Is he being communicated? Is he aware? It's on that fountain position, relatively open. Sees nothing. Here's footsteps. Yuri got to tap the bomb, stick the whole thing, and coldzera wins the fight as he gets too aggressive and falls apart. 13-3 pistol for FaZe.
Oh, you saw that FURIA were trying to make an aggressive stance. They tried push down mid and from second, just trying to hope that they could take the fight. And for Qualifier, he's getting some decent trades, but they still end up going in favor of FaZe Clan. They get the bomb out towards the B side, and once the first player, Rain, falls in towards construction, he kind of just thinks that he's towards New Box or the back of Dark, and unfortunately, coldzera is playing out from Banana. 13-3. Force buy has to come through from FURIA.
I have to get these Deagles and CZs to work. Scout a Junior as well if necessary. Ideally, they want to use that as well, but just no matter what it is, they just need to get a round. They just need to get some kind of round. Because FaZe are knocking on the door of match point and the win. Smokes back, Deagle shot, not connecting, Art's tagged first.
And all the best of CT smokes actually from the T side, and Vinny's actually taken the approach like he wants to get quite aggressive with this Deagle, fall back towards the site, hold on to the man advantage.
Smoke's a bit awkward, there's a big gap on the right-hand side of it. Could allow a chance for FURIA to actually maintain advantage, but they're not going to force forwards. FaZe actually backing off instead. Time is ticking. If they're going to go for a rotation, they're going to have to go for it now.
Another re-smoke towards a banana position, this time a lot better from FURIA. And you've got to wonder if the rotate comes through from the T's, and it does. They now start to regroup. Now they've got 2 smokes. They can get one out towards Moto, another one up towards the site. And for FURIA, they've got a stack coming through towards this crossfire at the A side. Under 30 seconds left on the clock. FaZe are going to have to act.
Rain wrapping in, AK inbound spray, plus the smoke does not catch anything into the pit control. Yuri's going to tap KSI with a CZ, gets that first and that second, the spray transfer, the AK almost turns up against Brokey, but he has maintained a man advantage, a 3-on-2 for FURIA.
Very good position here from FURIA to clutch out this retake, but they've got to be able to get here in time and peek on each other's contact. Brokey playing out towards a pit position, and coldzera in the site re-smoking, or at least flashing out towards Moto.
AK watching from the entrance over at Library. Brokey tapping, not getting his frag. coldzera waiting back in pit to be the insurance policy, and now the insurance policy is going to have to be utilized. Sees that first, spray through the boxes, can't get the second. Junior's on the bomb, spray through, trying to catch that player, tap on it. I don't even think he's got time, it's forced off anyway. coldzera's won the round, he will go down, but it's 14 for FaZe Clan, 11 in the lead above FURIA.
All they needed was a kit. They have that kit. That round is over. They can stick that plant. It gets so close to the wall bang and then just takes the fight out towards Moto. Junior gets off of the bomb. And do they force again? I guess they kind of have to. It's like, do you want to be playing OT? Probably not. Damn, they actually might be playing for OT. Oh, my goodness. That's like 5-15 down.
12 map and match points for FaZe. Like, that's a stupid comeback. FURIA better be, like, channeling the power of God Almighty himself. Like, they want to bring that together. See the case in point. Carrigan transferring his flicker the 180 straight to Yuri's head. UMP just getting things kicked off on the right foot. Easy kill should come in for the SMGs. Deagle of Art, not dead, but forced back.
Re-smoke up towards the long. We'll just try and slow this play down towards the brackets position, and a complete gamble stack coming out for FURIA. They're leaving the B site entirely, and for Rain, all it's going to take for him is a little bit of info gathering out towards B, and he's going to realize the site's completely open.
Smoked back, Carrigan moving on with the UMP. Again, continuing to bait in positions, jumping around the corners, getting the frags. Will finally fall to KSI, but an SMG lost and the B-side defenders and rotators cleared up. All left to Junior and Vinny. Last 2 players to hold a candle of semblance in this round, and as Junior falls, Vinny's got no chance. He knows it. The best he can get out of this round is a UMP, and that's just nothing by comparison.
I wonder if FaZe anticipated a buy to come through in that sort of state, that another force buy would be on the table. Anyway, they do split their way in from CT and towards the B site, deal with the eco easily. AWP upgrade coming through from Junior. M4's pretty much out for everyone. Might see an AUG for Vinny. No, it will be another M4. No kit in play, though, for the CT side, and for FaZe Clan, they are 1 round away from taking the series 2-0 and eliminating FURIA from the closed qualifiers.
And FURIA just capitulating off the edge of a cliff. They've gone so far down the deep end compared to that first map where they held confidence and even some great moments against FaZe of a 16-3. You can see actually the first couple of kills coming in for the CT forces, but Twist and Brokey return immediately, all left to KSI. If he falls on this A site, it's probably round over and match done. Sees the player up in the apartments, fights and wins it, but Twist trades it back 2v2 for the retake.
Art coming in quite quickly from this short position. AWP is looking out towards that angle, but didn't see him cut over towards that left-hand side, so Twist could be overwhelmed. There's the spam coming through, and now it comes down to Brokey in the clutch. 1v2 been seen from Art. Needs to be able to get out of that pit position. Flashes coming in, smoke as well, and FURIA, they don't have a kit. Someone's going to have to really get onto this bomb, and Art's going to have to defend from the position and catch off Brokey out from the pit. A 4th round being picked up from FURIA. A saving grace for them.
Indeed seems to be the case. A fourth to the CT board, one of many, many rounds they need to bring this back. Again, 12 match points involved. And that is now down to an 11 deficit. FaZe. Still back on the buy, of course, as you would expect, the bomb plant bonus with the money that they had saved from previous. Tech 9 for Carrigan, though, so not the most ideal buying. Still, the AKs are in for the four other players, so we're good here for FaZe. FURIA, slightly better setup, but if they lose anything to this T side, then it's going to spell trouble ahead.
Nice nades out towards a banana position. Another one coming in, rain down at 21 points of health. FURIA might want to even try and take the pressure to them around the broken wall and just try and see if they can spam in. Another incendiary lined up from Art. Him and Vinny trying to put a fair bit of a crossfire up towards banana, and even Quesarado's coming in for a third player.
Molotovs have driven FaZe away for the moment. Back into the mid control for FaZe. Tech 9 still gonna force forward on Rain. Passing that AK over to Carrigan instead. Into the apartments they'll go. So quiet still here for FaZe.
It looks to be an apps pop to come through from the T side. Just fly out from the apartments with the bomb.
Tech 9 dealt with Quesarato, baited the information given away. Flashback to try to get him out of dodge. Carrigan still holds his position. No smoke to get up the position, and Swiss and Carrigan actually get those couple of frags. Swing back at Carrigan Jr. can find him. His 5th kill in this game. Needs to get himself 3 more ideally. Stop FaZe from getting anything right at this. The bomb plant will at least be found.
Yeah, not the best of motor smokes. That allows Junior to keep a bit of a tight angle in case any of those T-side players try and get out towards Pit, but it doesn't seem like anyone from FaZe is going to give him that chance.
Art wins the fight on Cold Zero. AK giving up the ghost now. Twist and Brokey got 3 positions to keep their eyes on. Art swings and hits, and Brokey, all that remains here on site. Turn away from the AWP, gets the first kill, not the second. Junior secures it at point blank range. And a 5th for FURIA, staying alive once again.
A position where the buy isn't really here from FaZe. They're going to be on an eco, really, knowing they're on 2,400 loss bonus, even with that bomb plan in from the last, doesn't really give them the funds to go for it. And for FURIA, that was a nice retake in from Art. A couple of really important kills coming in from the apartments on that backstab. And you've got to wonder, Jay, like at what point do FaZe just get that 1 round? How many rounds are they really going to get up to FURIA? Because if it was like 13-5, you can give them the light of day for a bit of a comeback. But when you're up against map point and match point, it's so difficult. You can't make a single mistake because as soon as you do, the game is over.
That's the problem with this situation. Even though the comeback is on, even though they've not conceded that 16th just yet, they still got to get themselves 10 more in a row. And that 1 missed kill, that 1 missed shot, that 1 wasted opportunity would be enough for FaZe Clan just to, again, just slump past the finish line. Win this map in this series. First kill has gone the way of Junior at the very least, down that mid position. Carrigan found. 60 seconds left for FaZe as they're looking to try and get the responses in. They have forced Junior to passive positions.
They're just waiting for a couple of mistakes to come through from the City side. These Deagles looking to try and see if they can find a bit of an individual one-on-one duel, but it's not really happening. More util being used out towards this long position. And Junior could just line them up.
Swing out. Seeing nothing. Twists. Seeing nothing as well. Cold Zero. Tapping. And this Deagle looks to the bomb site. Could catch the AWP. And indeed he does. Grab that weapon and start using it to their favor. 20 seconds to get that bomb down. Quesarato on site. Got 1 player at pit. That's Yuri. M4. Drops that bomb. Swing back and Twist. Still can't find the trades in the M4. A1S can also strike back. Get those 2 kills. Moving Cold in 8 seconds to clutch it. Not going to happen.
A decent round. Looked like for a moment they could have been able to follow up with a bit of damage after they deal with Junior out from Library, but doesn't really happen. They just run into the meat grinder of the crossfire from FURIA. 6 rounds now up for the CT side, and you got to take it 1 round at a time. 9 more to bring it to overtime. FaZe now up with the rifle buy. AK's up for everyone. Pretty much full util sets for everybody as well. No AWP to come out for Brokey as of yet, but a very solid investment.
Incendiaries to suppress them early on into this round. FaZe not going to be allowed the instant banana control. The Molotovs back at the T side actually may have forced Carrigan to fall back even further. Not ideal. Counter Incendiaries, the CT forces will still be out there, and coldzera wins that first fight. In the apartments, Junior falls, but Art finds Carrigan to trade, so FaZe can't maintain these man advantages here.
A nice pick coming out for Quesarado and gets out of trouble. Might just get swung on from Brokey, trying to turn away from the flash. Needs to be able to get to some hard cover, play out the 4 versus 3, and coldzera's waiting for the rotate.
There's Yuri in with a frag. Rain down next to standing. Quesarado seeing Brokey. Tap first, headshot landed. FURIA continuing the comeback hype train, continuing to grind this closer and closer. Still ahead of a task, still 8 rounds in a row to go, but that's much better than what it was looking like earlier. And as well as that, that buy leads to an eco for FaZe, so this should be a gifted round.
I think they probably just need Brokey to get onto the AWP. Just invest quite lightly for him. Even with Carrigan buying down to $800. A fair bit of loss bonus now being sparred up for the FaZe clan with 4 rounds in a row being won by FURIA. They've got to try and take these AKs out of play. 3 of them up for Yuri, Quesarado, and Vinny being saved in from that last round.
Sprays through on Art. Hoping for a pick. Guinea gets one past that smoke. Carrigan unawares of what's going on. The frag's relatively easy as a result of that. Still going to press forward and hunt for the T-side members. Twists tagged also. FURIA just escape dodge here, knowing that they don't have to press too far aggressive now. They've got a major man advantage.
FaZe just hoping for a bit of a slow walk out towards Banana. Now, no one's jump spotting towards Broken Wall, so they don't know about Rain. Timing is going to be everything if they start to regress.
Art and Vinny. Seeing the spray, getting Rain. Back to the next player. That's a good drive-by from Twists, but Art with a simple response. And Brokey also going forward. And coldzera fall to a great sequence from Art at 4K overall. The AK staying in for 3 individuals. And again, FURIA gifted a pretty easy eco FaZe. Back on the buyback though. When is that 16th round going to come through? Is it going to come through? Have FURIA found their momentum? Have they found their form now?
You've got to hope that it isn't. When you're down 3 to 15, it's such a long comeback. It's such a long road. It even feels like they've been playing so well for 5 rounds in a row, but they've still got 7 in a row to go. Nice run boost to get Quesarado aggressive. They might want to try and take Banana.
Shot of Brokey not connecting. Swing back eventually gets Vinny. Burning to 1 point of health. That nade at the CT side doesn't get the frags that they wanted to, and Brokey still looks for 2. Doesn't get the pick back on Quesarado, so at least FURIA gain a map control, but they've lost the man advantage.
They've still done very well with the damage, though. You've got Rain on 21, Brokey on 1 HP. It's going to be difficult for either of those 2 players to be able to follow up, and now a little bit of util coming through. Molly out towards a porch position for Twist to get them into brackets, and they're just going to leave Junior alone with the AWP to hold out towards the B side. The rest of them have rotated back over to A.
And 60 seconds left. Small, slow rotations of FaZe. Press on still. 45 seconds. The bomb's going to make his way in first to Twist. That's a risk. Smoke at the ready. Perfect flash in, catching both players blind. Yuri's just held back. Got to rely on his teammates on site, and that long bursting through, looking for damage past the smoke. Gets 1 frag. Art and Yuri continue to hold the spray. And Art completely manic finds Rain as well. In a matter of seconds, the whole round falls apart for FaZe. You mentioned how that damage can come into effect, and indeed it has. Not enough of a basis here for FaZe to work off of. Carrigan trying to attempt the clutch, but it's not going to work for him. 9 up for FURIA. FaZe, they're letting this slip.
Do you believe in the magic, Jay? Because
God,
really, Really? This is getting to a state where it looks quite worrying. It looks to be on. It's Eco, and FURIA are just playing lights out at the moment. They need to carry this momentum forward, but you look at the deficit only being 6, and it doesn't feel impossible anymore.
What's happened, FaZe? What's going on? You just need one good round. You're letting FURIA do so much damage, picks, easy trades, man advantages. Close range positions from Yuri's part. That AK definitely wants them. Here, the body block. Spray on Cold Zero doing its damage. Not quite finding the opening frag.
A lot of chip damage to start off from the nade and the spam. Another quick play out towards brackets. They would have tried rush with this, and Carrigan's going to be the first one to fall.
Kill on Junior, 2 players on site. AKK Serato sprays, gets his spray together. Yuri there debating the likes of Rain. K Serato will fall. Can Brokey find a trade? Can Twist find a trade? No, apparently not. Vinny there to support his man. The bomb plant we tapped once. Brokey trying to force out more positions. Now we'll stick the bomb plant for good this time, forcing CTs away actually. Winning a fight against one player, but Tech9 against the second. Not going to be good enough. Too low HP. Junior secures the Deagle, the 10th round for FURIA. FaZe have 5 more to get their 16th. Are FURIA going to do this? Are they really going to pull this off?
Well, at least for FaZe, like, that Eco was able to take more AKs out of play. They're running double orbs now between Junior and Art. Vinny's been the only one to maintain that T-side weapon. A bit of a fast contact. Orb duel out from the mid position. Both Orbers missing out on that chance for an opening pick.
Rain tagged early. I assume that's from Art's efforts there in the Bernarda position. The Orb still holding position. Rain taking a lot of damage to that Molotov. Slow face of the Orb. Double nades in. Art will take damage, but he's not going to go falling yet. FaZe will not know he's up here until he takes contact, so they don't know about the damage they've done just yet.
Art surely is going to want to try and reface this, get quite aggressive. He needs a flasher over the top. He can't do it dry. Otherwise, everything lands on Brokey to find the pick.
Swing out, Brokey gets the kill on Art. Rain, not even needed. Kill comes in just fine. Second player baited. FaZe, man advantage. Junior finds Carrigan, however. Edge of the smoke, I can only assume. Making their way forward, the AWP firing back. Case Serato going to swing forward at smoke. Gets that one frag, Brokey trades it. Vinny in the back lines. 3v3, and Brokey gets a 3rd kill. Bomb goes down now. This is the breaking point. This is the chance for FaZe.
Oh, Brokey's on. Brokey's on. He's found 3 kills in the round. He's looking for his 4th. Aggression out towards CT. And he's going to find it. Yuri's down the last one. And FaZe have done it. Just get over the line. 16-10. And the Latvian had one of the biggest rounds of the game. What a round for Brokey. And for FaZe, they close it in a 2-0 fashion. Finally.
Did let that comeback get a bit too close, though. I think we can all agree that probably shouldn't have gone as far as it did. But at the end of the day, it's still a victory for FaZe, and again, a 2-0 fashion to really boost themselves back up. They've done so much better on the second day. Like, compared to yesterday against OG, FaZe are looking so much more sharp. They're looking so much more fit and ready to take a lower bracket run. And to eliminate FURIA, it is sweet revenge. They fall in the only position that's the worst position for an invitee, for a high seed invitee in that respect. So they've definitely not had a great time about this, and I think that we could all look at that Movistar Riders series and I think that maybe there was something up with this side, but they just weren't on form. They just really weren't on form. There were only a couple of players showing up. Again, K Serato being the bright spark in that last map up, and it's just not good enough for them. Like FaZe, they were going to walk all over them from the word go.
Yeah, very disappointing for the last couple of days from FURIA to think that they only got, 12 rounds combined out on their matchup against Movistar Riders, and really, they got, 8 rounds in the first map, and they were down 15-3. Yeah, they ended up bringing it somewhat close, but FaZe were going to only tiptoe off right at the end, and for FURIA, I think a lot of people expected a lot more from these guys. 6th in the world on the ESL World Rankings, and today, FaZe eliminate them out of the closed qualifier, and they do it in style, really.
And to think, you're looking at this matchup, you're looking at this team and thinking that FURIA, they might have had a decent chance to go straight through on it. I think a lot of us had them rated as a particularly proficient team. And especially considering yesterday's matchup, they definitely took the worst loss, but FaZe also weren't looking that great either. It's a very bad result, I think, for these guys. Like, knowing how they've always taken top 8s, they've always gone for deep runs in tournaments. They'll be very disappointed not knowing that they didn't get to IEM Summer, because I think that's a team where FURIA could potentially thrive. So it's just one of those things where they don't quite make it. But for FaZe, there's a lot of positives to take from that. Which one do you think was the biggest positive in that series for them?
I think Range is finding impact. It's something that a lot of people have been waiting for a while now. I know that Range's had a difficult couple of months, and it just felt like in this series, everything was chiming together really well. It seemed like they were all on the right page, and they were playing with so much confidence. Like, Brokey was just constantly been gifting the AWP, and for FaZe, in comparison to how they played yesterday, this looks like a team that is a massive, massive threat in the closed qualifiers.
That to be a massive threat in the second round of the lower bracket in tomorrow's best of threes. For now, though, we head to our final best of 3 of the upper bracket as we take a look at Fun Plus Phoenix versus G2 Esports, the winners of their respective upper bracket matches against the likes of Big and Mousesports. So as we head towards a short break, we'll come back with that series after this. Don't go anywhere. IEM Summer Close Qualifiers continue after the break.
No pulse and all alone. Time's not kind and it won't let go. No thoughts left in my head. My mind's not mine and it won't forget. But you bring me back from my darkness black. Cause the soul in me and the heart I have for you. It bleeds for you, it beats again. Oh, you bring me to life. 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 Bring me to life. I'm safe, only, even though we burn from the light I bleed. Does she bring me back? Not a heart attack could take away all the love I had for you. It bleeds for you, it bleeds again. Oh, you bring me to life. 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 Oh, you bring me to life.
Been a while, yeah. Safe to say over a year. Still it feels like I saw you every day. Tired of hanging around the ones that always need an explanation. I don't need to every day. Explain myself, don't hold it against me if I'm somewhere else. Put all the masks that I had on the shelf. Wish I could stay, but it's bad for my head. Something's coming. I wanna be everything I thought that I can never be. Build me up, piece by piece. Figured out by all the parts that made me. Used to feel like I belonged to a certain place or a town. Feeling safe, feeling sound when I'm still around. But there's something in the distance. I wanna know what it's like. Don't worry, I'm still with you all the time. Explain myself, don't hold it against me if I'm somewhere else. Put all the masks that I had on the shelf. Wish I could stay, but it's bad for my head. Something's coming. I wanna be everything I thought that I could never be. Build me up, piece by piece. Figured out by all the parts that made me. Something's coming. I wanna be everything I thought that I could never be. Build me up, piece by piece. Figured out by all the parts that made me. Something's coming. I wanna be. Build me up, piece by piece. Rising out the ashes, coming from the ether. All I hear is static. Breathe a little deeper. Fallen, broken, a million light years away from home. My eyes opened, and now I've come to claim life. Never let it go. These wings carry me. Live this fantasy. Running through the fire, fire. Gonna let it burn. I am the Messiah. Gonna let it burn. Running through the fire, fire. Gonna let it burn. I am the Messiah. Gonna let it burn. 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 Found me in the darkness. Now they see me shining. Calling me a goddess. Thunder and the lightning. I'm falling, I'm faster. Making my way back, I'm close to home. I'm fighting harder because I've come to claim my throne. Never letting go. These wings carry me. skies, dreaming big and aiming high. Name the clouds passing by, wishing we run away.
All we need is our passports, baby. Leave the rest in our troubled minds. Let us go down in laughter, baby. Trying to figure out what we're after.
We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after. Book a plane, fly away. We will never be the same. And as long as you are mine, come on and run away. We wanna run away.
We don't need any reasons, baby. Leave it all for the faded hearts. I don't mind if they call us crazy, 'cause they don't understand what we're after.
We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after. We're no kids no more. I need to feel alive in this dreadful town. I'm running out of time, and as long as you're mine, I wanna run away. We're never heading back until we're older. We couldn't care no more, not any longer. Under peach yellow skies, we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after. Out of the shadows, I've come to make a name. Ready for battle, 'cause I got a thing to claim. Think that I'll crumble, I'll show you your mistake. Where you see me coming, better run for cover, 'cause I'm not slowing down, I'm never going under. I survived the pain, I know it made me stronger. So meet the monster I came to conquer. When all the smoke clears, I'll still be on my feet. Forget all of my fears, 'cause I know my destiny. I feel a champion waking inside of me. It's set in motion, the legend's spoken. This is my moment. Can't break my focus, know where I'm going. This is my moment. Where you see me coming, better run for cover, 'cause I'm not slowing down, I'm never going under. I survived the pain, I know it made me stronger. So meet the monster I survived the pain, I know it made me stronger.